Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's PreMarket Prep with your host, Joel Elonin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to PreMarket Prep. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin, Dennis Dick with you to wrap up the week. We got a good show today. It's been a while since we had a good old-fashioned Dennis Dick rant, but we're gonna have one this morning. And I'll give you a hint. It is about Stamps.com. Speaking of Stamps.com, vindication today for Ryan Craver, who came on our show like 3 years ago when Stamps was at like 60 and was like, I like it. Vindication today for Ryan. I'll hit him up later today. See if we, and actually, I think he'll be on the show next week anyway. So what we're going to talk about today, Stamps.com. Buy the dip. Kenny Glick, which was on the show at 8:15. He's from hitthebid.com. We got a lot going on. Joel, good morning. Good to see you. Good to see that you have power and internet. How are we doing in the markets?
Oh man, back to the real world. Good day in the market. A little dip overnight, but buy the dippers came in once again. We're up 21 3/4 handles. Upside. All-time closing high, 42.75. Downside, I'm sure a lot of people would like to see that close from yesterday. Crude up 77 cents at 73.71. Gold hanging on to 1,800, up a buck at 18.0120. Silver trying to stay in the 26 handle. That's up about a dime at 26.08. Bitcoin doesn't move. We may have to remove that from the early morning repertoire. Ethereum. That's down $83 here at 207,850. Here, I wasn't sure, internet issues and stuff, but between Kenny Glick, Jason Raznick, and this rant here, I could go finish packing the car and get ready to go on my trip. Triple D is fired up. Fire him up, Triple D. Tell me what you need to know.
Dennis, you having a good morning or what's going on?
Give us the news first. So I'm going to go on a rant here and tell you this is low-hanging fruit to fix, and they need to fix this. I see this all the time on takeovers. So low-hanging fruit here, Stamps.com. Give us the headline.
Yep, 7:30 a.m. press release. Stamps.com is getting taken private by Thoma Bravo for $330 per share in cash.
Okay, show the press release and the Benzinga Pro. We might as well give the Benzinga Pro some love. You'll see 730,000 right on the button.
I'm gonna pull it up. STMP.
Stock taken over 730,000.
Boom, look at that timing. There it is.
Stamps.com right there. Okay, now I just sent you another link just to your phone. If you look down, I don't know if you can show this, but I want you to show the NASDAQ halt time. I want to show you, and obviously all the exchanges, but you can see the times where, you know, the stock actually get halted. Okay, you have that put into your
Boom.
Pro.
Here it is.
Yeah,
Right
03. So it's halted at 7:30:003. Okay. There's 3 seconds there between the press release of the takeover and the time of the halt. The whole point to the halt is to allow the news to disseminate so that everybody can trade on it fairly. When you halt the stock after the press release, that means you've got given a 3-second lead to every high-frequency trader out there to pick off anyone who is in the book. Let's look at the orders that traded here. I got a copy of the tape here where I just downloaded the consolidated tape where you see the trades. And look what happens at 7:30:00. All these traders picked off. First one, 200 shares, 199.99. Then you got another 1,200 shares at 211.56. Then you've got, you know, and you add them all up here, Joel, and you add it up. There was 6,000 shares that traded in this bracket. 6,000 shares got picked off. If you average it out, a lot of those shares are down 120 points from the takeover price. So literally somebody is picking that off and making 120 points. So if you ballpark and say, okay, the average, it looks like the majority of those trades on the tape are at least 100 points below where it was taken out. Then you look at it and say 6,000 shares, you're talking about over $600,000 that was just transferred from individual traders to high-frequency algorithmic traders that have the ability to trade on the news in 0.000 seconds. So why are we allowing this to happen? So this, and I know there's some regulators sometimes listen to the show, and I'm hoping that they're listening. Not a regulator problem. This is a problem. But this is something the regulators can fix, and it's a simple fix. You've got to halt the stock before the press release. You've got to make it mandatory, and this is what I would do. If I would make it mandatory that every stock, every company that's going to issue a takeover press release has to mandatory halt the stock before the press release is disseminated to make it fair for everyone. Let's make it fair for everyone. When you halt it 3 seconds after, you just gave somebody a 3-second advantage. Eternity. So they picked off. They literally made, if you add it all up, it's probably between $600,000 and $800,000, which is just transferred from individual traders to high-frequency news algos. So this isn't fair. This is what is not fair. Need to halt the stock before the press release comes out. It's the communication between the exchanges and the companies where the failure is. I'm not sure if the exchange was slow to halt or if the press release jumped the gun, but we need to get the stocks halted before the press release comes out. Because you can look at this and say, you know, and Mitch was making a good point. There's some shares, 2 shares, 1 shares, 100 shares. Somebody was saying, oh, it's picking off, you know, they're just picking off other high-frequency traders. I don't think so. There's no high-frequency traders throwing out a 2-share limit. There's not a lot of high-frequency traders throwing out a 100-share limit. There's probably a lot of retail traders that got picked off here, and they're losing out on $120. Now, you can go back, and I have seen instances where, okay, we you know, this was slow, and they go back and bust all those trades. But they don't always do that. I had it happen to me on Super Value about 5 years ago, where I was on the other side of this. I got picked off, and the stock got taken over for $32 because they didn't halt the stock. Halt the stock. So what I would say is, what I would like to see happen is the regulators put in a rule that any company issuing a takeover press release has to contact the exchange first and have the stock halted 5 minutes before the press release. Why try to, you know, maybe it's a fault.
Why even make it close?
Do it at the exact same time. Okay, we got to halt this right at 7:30 because the press release coming out at 7:30. Why do that? Apple used to always halt their stock 5 minutes before the earnings release. Remember that? Yeah. Give it some time, you know, because they used to always do it that way. I don't know if they still do it, but I like that. You know, halt it. Give it 5 minutes. Say, okay, we're going to halt the stock at 7:25, and then there's no way anybody's going to get picked off. Press release comes out at 7:30. We reopen the stock at 8 o'clock, and all those people don't just lose money that they shouldn't have lost. The whole point to halting the stock on the takeover press release is to allow the people to move to trade on that information fairly. But when you do it 3 seconds later, the only people who are responding in 3 seconds are the news algos. And that's not fair. So this is, Reddit, I hope you're listening. Maybe you can write a post on this or something, somebody on Reddit as well. But this is something that needs to get fixed because there was $600,000 or $700,000 transferred here today from STMP, a lot of individual stock traders, right to news algorithms. And that's not fair.
Can you imagine like the guy, he's like, he hits send and then he goes, oh, I can send again. Like whoever did that, they're like, they have to realize they made the biggest mistake in the world.
I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry.
No, that like, automation. Like someone had to put that out on the tape, right? Before. I'm talking about the physical person that did. There had to be a person that did this. You think it was
the person that's halting the stock?
Yeah.
I don't even think they know. We don't know. It could be, it might not be on the exchanges. It's the communication between the company and the exchanges. We don't know where the error is made. Maybe the press release jumped the gun. Maybe the exchange was slow to halt the stock. But either way, something happened where they gave them a 3-second window. 3 seconds. You can see it. That's right from the NASDAQ.com site. Halt was 7:30:003. We can see it because it was trades that occurred during that time. Now, I don't know what time, Arca, we got to contact all the exchanges, which makes it, it's not just NASDAQ. You obviously got 12, 13 exchanges. You got a whole pile that need to halt. But you need to bundle it all up where, and give yourself some time. Have it halted 5 minutes before the press release. Don't try to do it the exact same time because you try to do it the exact same time. Then maybe you're right. Maybe it was a person that was supposed to do it 7:30:00 and they pressed the button 7:30:003. Maybe they pressed the button late. Well, it's too hard to do it that way. It's a simple fix. Have it halted 5 minutes before. News coming. Then the headline comes 5 minutes later, and nobody gets picked off, and there's not a $700,000 transfer of wealth from individual traders to high-frequency traders there.
Daniel
so that's
Manahan.
my rant, and I'm sticking to that one.
We got a question, and I don't know if we could give the official answer, but they're saying, why are they taking it over at such a high price instead of taking it over at the lowest possible price over several days? They probably talked to the company, right? I mean,
the price they wanted.
And they were like, so if they go 240, like, hey, they don't even return their email. So that's what, and I look at it, and when I see things like that, I'm like, well, what's the all-time high? And the all-time high is 325.13. So it doesn't get any better than this. Great call by Ryan over the years. I know he got caught in kind of these. I still hope he was in it. And the chart, no one really. Well, yesterday it had kind of looked like the market yesterday. So I think this was pretty much under the wraps. What's the price there, Spencer? 330.
Yeah.
Is that what you said? So there's a little bit of faith in this deal going through. I mean, it's trading 326.52. So another $4.
And I think the big takeaway, people complain all the time about how, the Wall Street isn't fair, but there are fixes that are easy and fixes that are frankly just really difficult or not feasible to make.
Yes.
This one
is easy.
Like low-hanging fruit to fix.
Low-hanging fruit. So what I would say if the regulators are listening, let's make a rule. Let's make it mandatory that any company intending to issue, because it's not like this deal just got put together at 7:30:00. This deal was put together for a while. They know what time they're going to release the press release. Make it mandatory that the company contact the exchange way ahead of time, not at 7:30:00, ahead of time, and have the stock halted 5 minutes, and make sure it's halted before you issue the press release. So make a 5-minute rule, and you wouldn't see this. And people are saying, "Oh, what's $700,000?" But this happened.
If it was you,
again, it could have been a lot more.
What if it was you?
It could have been like hundreds of thousands of shares, and it could be millions of dollars of wealth being transferred here. It's not fair. It's not fair to have an individual trader that isn't a high frequency trader to to give them, okay, you have the same 3-second lead. That's what they'll argue at the same time. Anybody could have did that. Anybody could pick those up. What human being is responding and reading that press release in under 3 seconds? And that's at 0.000. So in milliseconds. It's no human being responding to that in 0.000. That is high frequency trading. That is an algorithmic trader. So that's got that written. And it's props to I'm not blaming the high frequency traders for this. I'm blaming the fall apart between the company and the exchanges. We need to better coincide that. And it doesn't have to be at 7:30:000, the halt. The halt needed to be 5 minutes before. So halt them ahead of time, allow the news to come out 5 minutes later. Everybody's happy, and we wouldn't see this transfer of wealth. But, it's little things like this that makes people feel like the market is rigged. There's going to be people that said that, and there's a lot of people in our chat saying this is on purpose. They did that 3 seconds late on purpose. No, I mean, don't allow them to even, to come up with that, though. Like that might, I'm not going to say it's right or it's wrong. I don't know. Maybe they did do it on purpose, but I don't think they did that. I like to think that they're not that it's not all that crooked, that they're doing that on purpose. But don't allow, but by leading this 3 seconds, there's going to be people who are going to write this. They did this on purpose, and that's going to give the exchanges more of a bad rap here. So halt the stock before the press release, and if they don't do it, fine them. But put a rule in there. It's got to be halted 5 minutes just on takeovers. Yeah. Stock's getting taken over. You're intending to issue a takeover press release. Mandatory halt 5 minutes before the company releases the news. That's my rant.
You know who agrees with this? I think he's nodding in the background is Kenny Glick, a.k.a. the Warlock. Hitthebait.com. Let's bring Kenny on now.
Let's get Kenny's thoughts if he's been listening.
Oh, Kenny's going to be fired up.
Hey. Kenny! There he is with his buddy Bob.
What's up, y'all?
What's up? I don't know if you were listening.
I saw you nodding in the background, Kenny.
Maybe he was listening, maybe not.
I hear the word rigged and I think to myself, wait, the market's rigged?
But this is a low-hanging fruit to fix one where you listen to our rant. It was 3 second window between the STMP press release and the time they halted the stock. They halted it 3 seconds after the press release. Why even bother halting at all then? Because everybody got picked off. Halt it before the press release.
Oh, yeah. Put me in charge of some of the exchanges. We'll change some rules. You and I can run the world, baby. How you guys been?
We're good. We're good. What have you been doing?
I just got back from 48 hours of going to my son's school, JMU.
Oh, nice.
I never went away to school. I'm very excited for my kid. I'm not a huge fan of the institution of college, but you know what? It looks like he's going to have the greatest time of his life. So I'm very excited for my boy.
In Madison. That's excellent.
Yeah. So nice campus. He's going for business, but we're going to start him off with accounting, and then he started dipping into some trading, and I showed him the VWAP trade, and he's fascinated by it. So I taught him, just like you said, the market is rigged. You might as well use the rigging formula back at it, volume weighted average price, and treat it like a video game in a government-sponsored casino. So he's going into college pretty jaded and cynical towards the market already, but that's the way you got to treat it. And it's been this is the best 3 months I've ever had in trading in my career. It's absolutely phenomenal these last couple of months.
So what do you think now? I mean, they had the dip yesterday. I mean, it was bought. Everyone, their brother tried to find a reason. They want to blame the 10-year, but the bonds have been rallying a little bit. So, I mean, snap back. I mean, a little bit easier when, at least you have some reference points now on the upside, right? It makes it a little bit easier. But so much for the quiet summer trade, or do you think this was just a one-off, a big dip? The last buy the dip opportunity of the summer?
I'm almost at 98% cash right now. So those days I welcome those days. All I've got right now is BTU. I gave it to you guys at around $3 the last time I was on. BTU finally got back over 10. But yeah, I've never been this more liquid and never been more excited to trade. Selling May and go away didn't work. The June swoon never came. July, I didn't really do my research. I thought July was notoriously a weak month. You actually know that we finished up 13 Julys in a row. The only month that has done that over the last 13 years. So I welcome the volatility. I think I was anticipating it because I saw the VIX popping up and UVXY was going up for a couple of days there. I think they want to try to shake everybody out before the earnings season comes. But I think we're going to see some of that selling of the news again like we did the last couple of quarters. A lot of these earnings have to be baked in. But again, I'm liquid and I'm ready to play, and I'm really staying focused on the VWAP trades. And yesterday was, if I can have one day like that a month, you're going to be fine as a trader.
What did you drill down on the shorter term time frame, right? On a day like yesterday, like drill down, right?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, yesterday when the market opened up, I was just calling my people. I was on the road, and I was like, please don't sell into this.
That's sometimes just avoiding doing the wrong thing,
Right.
don't necessarily have to do the right thing, but that was, and it hung out. I mean, I was away from the computer because of internet problems, but it hung out down there for like a good, half hour, 45 minutes. It gave you a shot. Never took out the pre-market low, but, it definitely gave you a shot. So what are you looking at today? Or, you got earnings starting next week,
Well, I gotta tell you
Chinese
something.
stocks. What do you got?
I'm leaving again. And you know how every trader thinks the entire planet revolves around them? Trust me, it revolves around me. I left on Wednesday. I said, listen, BTU hasn't done anything in a couple of weeks. Chances are it'll explode the next day. And then boom, it goes up to 10. And I was like, the market's probably going to finally have a little sell-off while I'm away. So I'm actually looking for that same reason. So if this market can just hang around today and not do too much, if the UVXY gives us another hint, and it finally did its job, you had some strength in UVXY, and it tipped us off to this move down. Again, it's just, being liquid is just a lot more sane right now. And coming from me and being sane.
Same sentence, yeah.
My investments don't work. I love this market. Every day you're seeing another carve or a new egg. We were joking around about Newegg. These stocks are going up in 100, 200% increments. So why invest your money? I bought Ford. It's my 14th week of owning Ford, and all I've done is lost money. So it's just investing for me. It doesn't work. BTU was a pleasant surprise seeing it back above 10, but BTU is kind of like that ironic trade. I'm looking for stocks that shouldn't go up, and they're going up. So, that's the criteria. I'm looking for Enron and WorldCom and Blockbuster to start rallying soon. But,
they might.
Enron
Hurts how to rally.
That game is the game that we're playing right now. So I'm sticking with earnings. I can't wait for earnings start to come in. My favorite trade is around the gaps on the reports. But I'm focused on these low price stocks that are exploding every day. You have some fun with them in the morning. And then, just don't get hurt. Don't become a bag holder on these names. A lot of them are just pump and dumps. And every once in a while, you get a pump and a dump and it gets pumped again, like MRIN. We had some fun with ALF. Obviously the CRV. So again, it's just, I'm remaining quite disciplined with my trading, but I'm keeping a little pinky toe dipped in the psychoticness of these names.
Social media influence on a lot of these names is, and they seem to just, it's a couple people get it started. I don't know who's getting these things started, but then they start catching on. And it's like, I see that Wish stock, and it's just been through my social media, Twitter platform. It's like half of the stock messages is Wish. Right. I'm like, I don't even know anything about this company, but when it's that much in there, then you look at it and you find yourself trading it almost because it's just everybody's talking about it all the time. I don't know, there's something to figure out. Obviously a lot of different stocks are talked about, but it seems like there's always one or two every day that's going to be the stock that everybody's going to talk about on Reddit and Discord and Twitter, and it's going to run just because everybody's talking about it. It's crazy that the markets have come to this, but you really got to follow the social media so you don't get run over, one thing, and two, like you said, there's some money to be made.
Absolutely. This is the most reminiscent to 1999 ever. I never thought I'd be trading names because the stock made me laugh. There was a symbol the other day, what it was. Oh, glop. I was like, glop. It doesn't even matter. If the symbol makes you laugh and there's some volume coming in, buy it. But really, even on these crazy low float names, the VWAP's been coming into play. Some of these stocks are coming out of these real long patterns of hibernation, and that's when you catch those MRINs. I was in that one, under $5, and that became amazing. Just like Clove, Clove came out of that, bottoming pattern and had that explosion. But just like BlackBerry and Clove, it seems like once they move on from the name, they just fizzle back to where they came from, and then you put them on a watch list in case they wake up again. But it's fun. This is the most fun I've had trading, in 20 years, really. It is really, it's exciting times, just got to stay nimble and don't fall in love with something that you don't know too much about.
Where are you going, Kenny? You said you're going away. Where are you going?
Going to the Bahamas, going to the Grand Hyatt Baha Mar, going to play some golf with my son. Wow. Taking the wife and my daughter. We all just got we have to apply for a health visa. So I had to get recheck, I had to reapply, I had to make sure they, I'm healthy. But chances are, if I get COVID while I'm in the Bahamas, I may never come back. So I don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, we're going to spend 5 days at the Bahamar, play some golf. And my son's 18, so we could gamble and drink together. So it should be a hoot.
That should be fun.
Wait, Kenny, I do want to bring to your attention that Hertz is trading under a new ticker. I don't know if you're aware of that.
No, what's the symbol?
It's HTZZ. So you're welcome.
That's a great symbol, too.
You're welcome for that one. And the warrant trading as well, but HTZZ.
Oh, the warrants. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Kenny Glick, we're getting some comments how you are unusually calm today. I don't know what.
It's early.
But Kenny Glick is from hitthebid.com is his website. You can always find him on Twitter. He's at The Warlock. It's up on the screen there, The Warlock. That's it, Kenny. Have fun in the Bahamas, man.
All right, man.
Kenny.
We got to circle back. We'll get more excited during earnings season. Have me on.
We'll bring you back.
Hey, we got next week is earnings. I'm excited. All right, see you, Kenny.
See you, Kenny.
All right, guys. Be good. Good luck, everybody.
All right. And then BTU was the one he was talking about it, which ended up working out. So okay, 8:25 here. Should we just talk? Let's talk about yesterday. Let's talk about the buy the dip. It was a lot of what I would call like the lower quality names, right? You saw AMC. I was very skeptical.
Donuts.
Yeah. Okay. I will send you a Timmy Ho's gift card. Okay.
I'm in Canada.
I will send you a gift card.
We'll wait for Krispy Kreme to reopen in Canada. There'll be one that'll reopen here. Eventually, they went bankrupt in Canada, but maybe with this new IPO, maybe they're going to expand back into Canada again.
No, I will send you a gift card for Tim Hortons. I will send it because I don't know where you live. I don't think you know where you live.
I don't know where I live.
I don't think you have an address right now.
I know my house. If you saw where my house is, it's just bulldozed, and there's just a big hole there. It's looking like an asteroid hit. So obviously, we're building the new house, but it's a mud pit too because it's been raining nonstop up here too. So, anyways, yeah, you don't want to send any donuts there. Just the crew will eat the donuts on me.
So anyway, I was watching AMC and all those things, stocks at around 10 o'clock, and I was a little bit skeptical, of that rally from the open onward yesterday, and I was wrong because they kept on going. So I don't know if I'll end up being, Dennis, you and I had a bet 67 versus 40. You won the bet, but
it could see 67 too.
It could see 67 too. So
it was a crazy comeback for AMC. Yeah. I mean, all the meme stocks. Let's talk the meme stock trade. Kenny was touching into it, but they've been out of favor here for about 2-3 weeks. Where not so much on AMC, but some of these smaller ones. A couple weeks where they've been selling a lot of the meme stocks. That was not the case yesterday. Wicked rally, obviously AMC leading the charge, but a lot of other meme stocks were rallying yesterday as well. Too. GameStop came back significantly. Just actually didn't even break the previous day's low. Again, remember that's always a sign for us, and that's how Joel and I have traded for years. Is looking, if a stock can hold the previous day's low, a lot of times they'll reverse off those prices. Me and Joel love those 2-day lows. And that would have worked well in GameStop. It also worked in Coin, which we talked about on the show yesterday. I talked about that 232 level, and I was like, anywhere in there. It bottomed at 233.61 and then took off. So that trade works. The two consecutive days of low. But AMC had the cut through, undercut and rally through the 40 support, and it never looked back. So anybody who was trying to short it through 40 got punished big time there. Again, you don't want to chase these things. I mean, if you're shorting AMC, it was $55 and it just went to 40 in 3 days. Nothing goes straight down. Nothing goes straight up. I'm not going to try to predict where AMC is going from here. It was an easier prediction if it cut through 50, that 40 was going to be the next big step. It did that. I did not see that big wicked rally coming, but obviously, my donut bet won anyways. $49 this morning. Is trading up another buck. I don't know, Joel. Do you have a level for us on AMC, or is this?
I'm only going to discuss AMC technicals on PreMarket Prep.
Yeah, because if you say something bad about it, you get a lot of hate mail.
If you guys want to come at 9, I'm going to be back today. I got everything. If you want to come in at 9, PreMarketPrep.com, I'll discuss it because I got a good feeling. I don't trade it, I don't touch it, but I think I know what it's going to do for the next couple days.
Hold on. Joel, you got you on the banana boat, man.
I knew he was working on something.
Look how
Let me
nice
see.
my legs are.
Yeah,
Shaved
Ooh,
legs.
dang,
Very
Dennis.
nice legs.
Yeah, nice
Those are those
legs.
Canadian
I
legs.
got some crazy long hair going on
I
too.
knew he was working on something.
That's the
there.
skinniest my legs have looked in years.
Yes, and I do wear my my headphones when I do go swimming. We got to get Ed the goat there.
That's great,
I
Mitch.
knew Mitch was working in the background, man. I
You
wish I
know
could
me,
do
you
stuff
know
like
me.
that. He's
Try to
good.
have some fun. Try to
He's
have
On
some
the
fun.
fun.
banana
He's
boat.
good.
I love the banana boat.
Coinbase. I will talk Coinbase because that's that's a stock.
It's a safe stock to trade. You know, you get hate mail if you say you're bearish coin.
But it did fill the. This is nice. You filled the gap here, right? You filled it here, and you pulled back a little bit, right in the vicinity of yesterday's low. So this one it's trying, right? Looks like it stopped going down, Dennis. This is kind of the formations that you talk about when you have a rally or pull back, or a little bit of consolidation, smaller ranges, but let's keep an eye on that 261.15 for another leg to the upside. Then you get into this big bar here, and there wasn't much between 260 and 280. So there you go. That's a good look at Coinbase here. Futures, I don't know. Maybe my internet went down again because they're just not moving, Dennis. We're up 21.25 handles, $1.75 off the pre-market high, 43.36. Could it be possible that we end a week on a high note? That we go back? We're only 20 some handles away from
anything is possible, Joel.
I mean, yeah. But yesterday was a little sneaky. It took.
I'm
going to
lighten up into this. Any trades, long trades you've got on, and a couple that I got maybe a little bit. I was thinking about taking the AMD, into the long-term portfolio. After that 10-point sell-off in 2 days, I'm getting half of it back almost, because it's 90. I might take some of that off. I haven't totally decided on that one, but I'm probably going to lighten up into the rally just because that spooked me a little bit. And if you were worrying about COVID, if you were worrying about the 10-year, those worries are all still there. I'm not saying liquidate your portfolio, but if you're heavy long, it's a nice little rally to lighten up into.
Yeah, this is this slope gets a little trickier here for AMD because you had that red bar, and then it was kind of like a comeback day yesterday. But you had people thinking, man, here's another thing too, Dennis, and I talked about this really at length with Spencer on the At the Close show. Look at the low from what day was that? Wednesday, 90.31. You know what the high was yesterday after opening in the 87 handle? 90.34. That old low turned. I mean, and the SPY did the same thing too. It actually filled the day gap, but
filled the entire gap.
Yeah. The SPY filled the entire gap.
Yeah.
On that morning run up, and so did the spoos. That's pretty incredible. I mean, for technical trading, for day trade, because when I was talking to people yesterday, I was like, "Hey, if you're stuck, don't sell in the hole. Maybe get a pop up to the lower end of yesterday's range." And that's what a lot of stocks did. So not all of them, but just a trick, And you can also look at it if you're stuck short. And, things up and up and up way out. You'd be surprised how the gaps are filled. Not always, but a lot of times. What do we got? 8:32 here. Are we done? Is Jason coming on today, or is that to be determined?
I'm assuming he is until I hear otherwise. But
okay.
I never know entirely with him. And on that Coinbase note, and I know they talked about this yesterday on SPACstack, but we do have another big crypto stock going public. This one's via SPAC. CND is your SPAC ticker, and Circle, which is the company that created the USD stablecoin, which is what essentially allows Bitcoin to track to track like a currency like the US dollar, right?
Yeah.
Right. So CND is going to end up being, that's what the pop was yesterday. CND, whatever the ticker ends up being, I don't know what it will be, but that will end up being another big crypto play when that merger completes. So
I'm always hesitant to buy these things. I mean, if it's got a good story, sometimes they do continue to. This is Mitch and Chris Catchy's specialty, obviously. So listen to SPACs Attack. They're the ones that if you really want the SPACs information, they're the ones that try to obviously give a little more insight into some of these.
Yeah, I'm just bringing it for awareness.
And I agree. We want to make people aware of it, but it's hard. They're hard to call. To call. Some go back down to 10 after the deal. Some go below 10 after the deal. Some keep going. You know, I guess it depends, you know, on how much, you know, that the target is liked. I mean, the PSTH one was an easy one because it was trading with such a premium that it was, you know, after they announced the deal, it was highly likely it was going to go back down because it just wasn't a good enough target. But, you know, when they're sitting there on 9.7, they seem to find a floor at 10 until they actually go post-merger. And then, you know, sometimes they do some other things. But they trade that $10 is so big on every single SPAC, even pre-announcement and post-announcement, post-deal, then the 10 floor is obviously gone. So that's when it starts to move around.
A couple people in chat on that undercut and rally note on AMC and GameStop are asking about Baba and Baidu because the charts do look awfully similar.
Oh my gosh, Baba, it's been awful. I mean, this is a dead cat bounce here, but this is just the classic we're scared to invest in China trade. You know, after the DD, it turned a lot of investors off, and Baba was punished because of DD. You know, it's not a coincidence that DD, you know, has that stuff, and all the Chinese stocks were down the next day. So people are spooked. People are spooked. Baba, from a fundamental basis, I still have some of my long-term portfolio, but like I said, I had sold half the position back at 230. And then, you know, I had it on for a swing trade from 211 to 230, which I just got
you
that
nailed
high.
that one, man.
Yeah, well, it was on the Russell rebalance day, wasn't it? Like, it was like the day where, and it gapped up 5 points basically in the last 5 minutes. I was like, that's too much too fast, and that's why I sold it.
There was a big buy imbalance. Yeah,
it was a big buy imbalance, so I sold into that. Those are often fades, and it worked out perfect. That was textbook Russell fade trade there to get me out of my Baba long at 230. But I still have a little bit in the long-term portfolio that I've had in there for I don't know how years. I don't know what to say. Like fundamentally, it's cheap. You know, the value from a valuation perspective, this thing is like cheap. But from the regulatory perspective, I don't know what they're going to do next.
Yeah.
So if you sit on it, are you going to make money? I hope so. I still have some of my long-term portfolio, but I'm scared of I'm not putting on new investments in China. I agree with Kramer. Kramer's like not buying any China stocks. He keeps saying I'm mad money right now because we just don't know what the next move is over there. And it seems like that is some type of political warfare going on a little bit over here.
Their own companies, I know.
Yeah, with the DD, you know, having her IPO and 2 days later, they're starting to, you know, hit it hard with, you know, with all the regulatory stuff.
Shut them down.
Well, they didn't shut, but they shut the app off the App Store. They can't download the app right now. So I'm scared of China stocks, although a lot of them are cheap.
They're still keep putting a bid in that Weibo. I mean, we talked about it under 58, so there's something there. We were talking about perhaps it coming down to, you know, fill that gap, but right now, man, they're keeping this thing bid above the gap. So who knows? Sometimes if there's smoke, there's fire. But that was denied, and stock's still holding on. I think that's pretty interesting.
What about, you want to talk Levi's for a second here? We did
Yeah,
one earnings stock this week.
Yeah, exactly.
We haven't talked
earnings
and analysts.
Yeah. Okay, so Levi had a good quarter, and they raised their guidance too. So the Q2 EPS and sales came in above estimates, but they raised their second half of the year EPS guidance from a range of I'm sorry. The new range is 72 to 76 cents is their EPS guidance for the back half of the year. And their full year EPS guidance is going to be around $1.30 versus $1.15 estimate.
You got major resistance in just that $30 area. I'll just ballpark it there.
I'm gonna jump ahead of you, Trip. Oh,
Go ahead.
It is 30. Okay, I'm just looking at the three highs ahead of 30. So someone's probably leaning on that 30, 29.84, 29.71. Where do you go to off the print? You go to 29.86. I mean, that's a good level. Maybe you get. I think if you could get through that 29.80 level, there might be a little paper at 30, but it's not like that AMD resistance I gave the other day, but that's pretty good resistance. So I agree with you, just under 30, but the daily highs. Can you see the book, or is that too far away?
I don't have the book open, but you probably could. And it's a good question. Is there some size at 30? If somebody's in the chat there, maybe they can tell me. I didn't open my book here yet.
All-time high 30.84.
I should have my book open earlier.
That's okay. Don't worry.
I'm opening it up now.
Okay. You're,
Anyway,
that's
so let's
okay.
go to the next
You're
stock.
too
Let's
busy
do
getting
some
that.
ticker time here before Jason comes on.
Yeah, well, if he comes on, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Well, anyway,
Then we'll just do prolonged pit ticker time. Everybody likes that.
yeah, it's the end of the week, guys.
Lots of ticker time.
And it's also the last time for a few days.
People want to talk stocks.
Oh wait, never mind. Jason just texted me. He's out today. So okay, no Jason.
All kinds of ticker time.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, sure. Let's look at fuel cell. L. Smith, why not? It's been a couple of
Fuel
days.
cell. That's a long time since I've looked at that one. Let's bring it up. Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? Man. Yesterday's low, it's a nice candle. That I love it when they, gap
Ooh,
down,
really
fill the
come
gap,
in.
and then hold it. So now you have a level to lean on. You have yesterday's low, 758. So if you want to take a flyer, you got to stop yourself out below that. Yesterday's low is 758. But a lot of stocks that have this similar candle where they bottomed and then they had the rally most of the day and held those lows. I don't mind it for a trade. Again, if it takes out 750, again, looking at the trade, I'm always looking at my risk first. So I'm risking myself down to say 750. So I'm risking 70 cents. So you got to consider that. And I think, there could be room to 9 or 10 if it really started to catch a bid. What's Plug, Power, and Ballard doing too, though? Because those are your leaders.
Yeah,
and those don't look healthy either. None of those really look that healthy, which kind of turns me off of it a little bit. I know there was a headline on Ballard this morning. But if I was long it, I would lean on yesterday's low.
When did they do the offering, Spencer? Remember we talked about when companies do offerings and the fact. I mean, when the company's selling stock. Do you remember? Is that in Pro? I don't have Pro up.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. I got to go back a little while.
It's not a big deal. Okay. I mean, not much different to give you there in Triple D. I would say. Nah, I might get a little more excited on the long side. Let's get in the $9 handle.
It was January 27th.
So January 27th. Let's see what the company did.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Spencer. You're looking at the wrong. I'm looking at Plug.
Okay. What
Plug? They all did offerings.
Well, let's see what. I'm just curious to see.
Okay, fuel cell. I apologize. Fuel cell.
When did Plug? January 27th?
Yeah, that was Plug.
Let's see where the stock was. Oh, I bet you it was a little bit higher.
Fuel cell was.
Look at that.
Fuel cell was
high the move.
Fuel cell was December.
What do you know? High the move on January 26th.
Can
you imagine that? Company does an offering and the stock makes a high of the move.
All right.
Anyways,
I'm going back to your Levi, Joel. Great call. 100,000 shares offered at $30 in New York. So that is absolutely major resistance. To give you some perspective, there's only been 100,000 shares of trade all morning. It takes 100,000 shares to push it through 30. I see another 8,400 at 29.75, another 7,000 or so around 29.50. So you've got the book, littered with some offers there, but the big bogey, 100,000 shares at 30. It's going to take some big bucks to push it through there. If I'm doing my math correctly, that's $3 million to take it through there.
And you got the high freaks, leaning. They were actually stepping out before 29.80, 85. The high freaks are, going to be ahead of it. So we'll see what happens. For Alan Moore, we've got to cover Sava. This guy is good.
I was going to go to that one next.
Alan's good, man. He's teaching me how to do Sava.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the story here?
This is the Alzheimer's thing.
They got Alzheimer's drug. Yeah.
This has been getting a lift since Biogen. We were talking about a number of these stocks that after the Biogen, so-called, approval / you still got to do a trial, that we were going to start to see a lot of the other Alzheimer's potential drugs, start to lift too, as, we think, maybe the FDA just set a new precedent that you might get some some conditional approvals before the trials are actually done, which they've never done before. So I'm not surprised this continues to take off. Wish I would have bought some.
This is this bar and this setup here. I know I'll just give you the all-time high, 117.54. On that day though, it lost half its value. It closed at 63.43. But this is a different kind of candle here. I mean, you went up and you held. So only thing I can give you is 117.54. That's the all-time high. First things first, you got to get through the pre-market high of 109.07. But I know you're holding it long term. Let's get above that 117 and change. And just be careful if it's one of these. This had a big update, red candle. This does give it back. Big winning streak. So there's going to be some good vacuums in there. 117.54 all-time high.
Here's an interesting one. Big Commerce, Big C.
Big C, how's it doing?
It's
Deal with
combining.
Amazon or something, or like didn't
It
snare
says-
deal?
This says classic Dennis. Oh, I can't chase it back up here. Written all over.
Oh man.
Well, it wasn't there a headline though? Isn't there something with Amazon?
Yeah, they're
Is that from today or that's from a couple days ago?
It was from Wednesday. They're teaming up with Amazon on multi-channel fulfillment.
Yeah, so okay, and that's where you've seen the stock continue to pop. I mean, one thing to consider here is this stock is significantly off the highs, from where it was back in 2020. It kind of broke out. So you got to break out from above 66 where you're 65, that whole area 65, 66, and you've been running for a few days. I don't like chasing stocks. I think it would have been better if this would have been on our radar to buy it yesterday on yesterday's dip, which would have been a perfect buy down, 67, 68 bucks. Now it's 70 and a half, but it's not gone though. I don't know. What do you think, Joel?
It's interesting because you are trading up again, not a little over 5,000 shares, but you do have a reference point at least because of 72.20. That was the high from Wednesday. So there you go. That's your target on the upside. And then did Sean talk about this one? Do you remember?
Yeah,
he did. Man, but if you're looking for more, I mean, come on, retracement. I mean, you're not even. Oh, that didn't work. Come on down. 50% is still way up there. So just temporary reset. The high was 162, and how low did you get? Boom, you got to 42. That's wow, 140 point move, 70 off the low. Man, oh man, that 120, 130 takes you halfway back. Or excuse me, 110. 110 takes you halfway back. So, but first things first, 72.20. That would be the focus number for today.
Let's look at. I think I don't remember if Joel and I looked at this yesterday. But I did it at one point. Beyond Meat. I don't remember if it was with Joel. Nothing really is going on with Beyond Meat. I mean, they announced a new product the other day. Chicken tendies. But yeah, I don't know. It's quiet. And then there was
I don't know what to say about this. It's a little bit of a meme stock too. I shouldn't say meme stock. It's been a Reddit stock.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it has to go higher.
No, for sure it doesn't. Yeah. But I group all those stocks a little bit together. If I start to see the meme stock start to go up, it spooks me on shorting Beyond. So I don't know. Like fundamentals has never made any sense. It's just traded on story. Story keeps holding up though. Keeps finding a reason to hold up. So I'm never going to stick this in my long-term portfolio because the valuation's insane. But as a trade, I've traded lots of times. I don't really love it here though. It didn't bounce much yesterday. I mean, you had a lot of stocks that were rip and rally off the lows, and this bounced a buck or two off the lows. I mean, I know we're up here this morning. I'd be nervous about yesterday's high at 142.99. I'm not sure if there's a headline today, but it's not a good sign when your stock doesn't bounce as much as the overall market did.
Yeah, how did it trade in relation? It actually was lower on the session by a buck. 142.99 was the high. I kind of look on the close from yesterday or Wednesday, 140.34. If you don't hold that, chance of going red. I mean, there are two lows in the same area, but I mean, I don't think you really get a lot of downside if you want to let this breathe a little bit. Since you had to gap up 132.13. If you mind, if you are going to be patient and you want to wait till it takes out weakness, then I'd be 132.13. But okay. I like that, Dennis. I like that high for the 2-day high.
We would be remiss not to talk about space today, of all days.
Yeah. It's an important day for the stock. And obviously, I would not be surprised if you get the run up into the event. Obviously, when is it? Saturday?
Sunday.
So I don't know if I've got the guts to hold it through the event.
No way.
Oh my God, I know.
I mean, obviously, you hope it's going to be a successful mission, but for whatever reason, if it's not a successful mission, I mean, the thing would, the stock.
What if they cancel it?
I mean, that's not good. They'd hammer the stock on that too. So here's the bull case is the mission goes perfectly, and everybody talks about it on Monday, and it gets more of a lift. I think you're going to see a run up today. So I actually like the pullback today, although it kind of had the run up yesterday. So
it was huge. Yeah.
I mean, you have 43. It would have been better to buy it yesterday. Now you're up 51. You're 8 points below yesterday's low. I had this written down to actually buy this ahead of the event, but it ran so much yesterday. Now I'm spooked to do it. But I probably would, if I was trading it, I'm probably going to sell it before. If I do buy it ahead of the event, I'm probably going to sell like 359 or maybe after hours or something. I'm scared to hold it through the event because it's just the unknown that, like you said, what if they cancel it? What if for whatever reason a rocket doesn't work, something doesn't work? Like all
There's
those,
a lot. Yeah.
all those are reasons that they would actually
Valid
absolutely hammer it.
questions.
If it goes successfully, I think the stock could be up a little bit more, but it has a lot of positive news already priced in. So I don't know, like if it's, I'm going to see this thing like a successful mission, it's going to be at 60. I don't know if I see that. I think if it's successful, it could be up another couple bucks maybe. But if it's unsuccessful for whatever reason, the stock would be back down probably near those lows of 42, or maybe even lower. So risk reward's a little tough. Today might be okay though, the run up ahead of the event, but if I do it, I'm going to sell it before.
Yeah,
I don't have a position, but if I buy it today, I'm going to sell it before like the Friday after hours close.
54.40. I mean, you look at that. That was the high when it popped up, I believe, last Friday, and then you got these two other highs in this area. So I would just be aware of that if you're looking to peel out ahead of the the event. Anything can happen, but man, oh man, I looked at this thing with Spencer. Someone just made it standard to 43. Twice last week, 08, 43.19, and then last two sessions, 43.02, 43.05. So I don't know if we're ever going back down there again, but major support to see if it makes a little topping formation. High the move has been 57, two highs up at 57, 51, 57, 29. If you want to look for more on SPCE.
RAG is asking Dennis if you're convinced on X because you mentioned
I had it a couple times. I've played this a couple times very well. I've swung trade this very well. I had it from like 22 to 28 once, and then I had it on the second run from like, I don't know, I bought like 24 and I sold some at 28 again, and then the others at 26. So it was a good swing for me. Its broken trend is the problem. The overall trend, if you look at it on the long term, it has broken trend here now, which is concerning to me. I don't like it when they start breaking the uptrends. I don't know. Obviously, we've got concerns with the variance and stuff, and this is part of the reopening story. But this whole commodity inflationary trade has cooled off substantially. There's major resistance up here at 24. So at 23 this morning, it maybe down in the low 20s, 2021. But at 24, I think you're running into resistance. You see the trend I'm talking about, Joel?
Yeah.
It's kind of broke trend now. I don't like it when they start breaking trend.
Yeah, it had the big run up on the infrastructure package. I don't know where the heck's that at. You finally gave away on 23, and where you back up today? You're back. I think it'd be important to hold 23 today. If not, and what's your 2-day high? Your 2-day high is 23.37. And you're not even there yet. I'd say very important for this to get over that 23.37, do a little work in a 23 handle. I don't know why it's up. Is it just up because of is there news on it?
No, it's the commodity trade's up this morning.
Okay. Yeah, make sure it gets
you've
through
got
20.
Oil trading higher. It all kind of trades together.
Okay.
Steel, oil. It's all the commodity trade has been kind of moving together. So
there was a question from earlier that I missed and I wanted to get to for Joel. Joel, why are pre-market high and lows such key levels?
Because
there's not a lot of people looking at them.
Yeah, and it gives a feel for some of the big money that's out there. They if they want to work a position. It just, it's a level. Sometimes when it blows through those levels, it just keeps on going. They're really more significant to me if there's something to back it up.
There
like
you go.
Like a daily high or a monthly high or something like that. If it's just, willy-nilly and on these meme stocks, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. But you want to like that Levi.
Great example.
Yeah. You want to see something else there.
Like Levi, the offer has grown. So now 169,000 shares offered there, which is going to take a lot of money to push it through there. And the pre-market high coincides there. So it's telling you other people are leaning on that high too. So there's going to be resistance all up from 29.75 all up to that 30 area until it can take 30 out. It takes 30 out, then it opens up. But until it can take 30 out, if you're coming in and buying at 29.70 or 29.80, you're not, one, reading the book. Two, you're not reading you're not reading anything because that order is huge. I would rather own the stock at 30.01 than 29.70. And people say, why? It's 30 cents. You know, it saves 30 cents because when it trades 30.01 or 30.05, I know it's going through 30. Like, and I'm talking during the regular session. I know the 30 seller is gone. Right now, that 30 seller is like a big goal. It's like Vasilevsky sitting there with his big equipment on, and he's blocking half the net. Until you get him out of the net, he's hard to score on. So we got to get this $30 seller out of the way. What's that, Mitch?
I don't think never happens.
I don't think people get the reference. Maybe they
don't like the hockey reference. So.
We
can't. But anyway,
two-time Cup champions.
Yes.
2 times.
Congratulations, Mitch.
That's an awesome team. They were 18
what do you claim any team in Florida now, Mitch?
You gotta go to the winning teams, right? I mean,
Florida.
It ain't my fault Detroit sucks.
Claims the winning teams. Wait, in all seriousness, Mitch did have a question about the reopening trade. He wanted to know about the on the airlines specifically. Because they've all been
hanging
reopening
out
trade has cooled off so much. Nice bounce back for it yesterday. Nice follow through here today. I think it's nothing but a dead cat bounce. The reopening trade has cooled off substantially here. We like Boeing down at 220. It never got there yesterday. Rip and roar and rally. Now it's moved up too much here. It's a nice candle from it. Like a nice reversal there yesterday on the reopening trade. Is this going to kickstart the whole reopening story? I'm not so sure about that. I don't know if this is the start of the reopening rally and the roaring 20s, or if this is just a dead cat bounce. Right now, guilty until proven innocent. I'm just calling it a dead cat bounce.
Yeah, you gotta at least maybe stabilize here. Not necessarily bolt out of here, but maybe a couple lows in the same area, something to lean on. But yeah, I mean, American Airlines. I mean, just for the day that they canceled all those flights or had the problems. I mean, supply issues. I don't know. The variant. I hear Pfizer's working on a vaccine for the variant. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just gotta wait. Ooh, look at Pfizer, 39.
I don't see, like, obviously the variant's out there, but I'm just not seeing I'm not seeing the variant like dominate people's thoughts the way.
Not yet, no.
Like, it just doesn't. Obviously it's out there, and there are parts of the world where it's bad, but I'm just not seeing it having the same impact. It just, in terms of like the discourse, you see it on TV and on Twitter, whatever. There's news about it for sure. There's coverage, but I'm just not seeing it dominate our everyone's headspace. The way the original strain was last year,
because the vaccines are handling the variant pretty well.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe it's not, and maybe, and like we said, Pfizer is going to work on something to target the Delta variant.
Yeah.
But maybe that's a good thing. But I mean, overall, you look at those statistics that they're saying, and it's like the majority of people who are really having a rough time with COVID were unvaccinated people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm fully vaccinated. I got my second vaccine yesterday.
Congrats.
Yeah, I actually drove. Believe it or not, I talked to Lisa, and I didn't want to mix. Or you talked to Lisa for me. Right now, there's a shortage in Ontario of Pfizer. We have Moderna. It's everywhere. I got my first shot was Pfizer, and then I was researching, and I'm like, well, there's no studies on the mixing yet. Canada says it's okay to mix, but then my parents mixed, and they got sick, and I knew some other people that mixed.
You didn't
I
tell
want
me
to get
that.
sick for a couple days. So I'm like, you know what? I drove 3 hours to get the Pfizer shot.
Oh, that's why you had the donut. Okay.
But you know what? Yeah, that's right. I was on the road. So I drove 3 hours. So that's how much I wanted the vaccine. I drove 3 hours to get the Pfizer vaccine. But you know what? Here I am 24 hours later, and I'm not sick.
Did you take the cat, or did you take the kids?
No, left the kids with the parents, with my parents, and then just me and my wife drove. It was a nice little drive. Drove up north of Sudbury. Like, we're in if you want to Google that, nosebleed territory. I think the little town was Hanmer. It was a town maybe of like a few thousand people, but they were one. I looked everywhere, and they had one of the few places that had the Pfizer vaccine. It's not a full shortage in Ontario. They're saving the Pfizer vaccine for everyone from 12 to 17 right now, because it's the only one approved in Ontario for that. So, but there was still a few small town clinics offering the Pfizer, and I was like, okay, if they're going to offer the Pfizer, I'll go up there and I'll drive 3 hours to get it. So call me an idiot, but I drove 3 hours, so I didn't have to mix. But you know what? I'm not sick today, and everybody else who's been mixing has been getting sick. So far so good. I mean, I'm only 20 hours from the shop, but I think, Joel, if I was going to get sick, when you think I'd be sick by now?
Dennis.
Yeah, 24 hours usually. So
we learned that in college, though. We don't mix.
You don't mix. Hey, we learned that, Mitch. You're right. You don't mix beer and booze.
Listen, beer before liquor, never been sicker.
Is that how it goes? Beer before liquor, never been sicker.
Liquor before beer.
I never heard that.
You're in the clear. Looking for
We don't mix. I mean, a lot of people, and it's probably going to be fine. And some people are saying it's actually creating a better immune response. And in the long run, you might be better to mix.
I don't know.
But the studies aren't there yet. They're still in the studies. The science isn't there yet. So that's why I was like, I'm going to just take the drive.
All right, let's do one more quick. Let's do your stock then. It's triple D, DDD.
I haven't looked at it in a while.
Yeah, I know. We haven't talked about it for a while.
Oh man, it's come in, which is nice, but
no man's land.
Yeah, sometimes, like I said, they give you a pitch up the middle and you swing for the fences, and other times they're throwing you a slider and you're like, I'll lay off that pitch. This is the slider. Mitch, you like my baseball reference?
So hard to hit is what you're saying.
Hard to hit this pitch.
I think what the Bulls want here is just a couple days of stabilization. Like hold this low from yesterday, just a couple days, consolidate, and then, make a run. First things first, though, 34.94. We're at 34.50. First things first, take out yesterday's high. And I don't see a quick flush up to 36.15. I think maybe you find somewhere in the 35 handle to stop. But guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to go over to PreMarket Prep Plus and cover AMC for you all.
Wait, Joel,
I'm out until Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll be back next Friday.
Wait, real fast. Are we doing it at the close today, you and me, or no?
No.
Okay, that's what I thought. Joel, you're gone until next Friday.
Yes.
Oh man, we're gonna miss you.
I am not gonna miss you guys.
Who passed this? Who allows Joel to leave for a week?
Got the inflatable paddle boards. We got the paddle boards.
Are you going to the UP?
Not quite. Just
Not
about.
quite?
Harbor Springs, Petoskey.
Nice.
Swimming in the bay, biking, golfing.
You do it all.
Man. Yep. But
just be careful with those banana boats.
Yeah. No boats this
boat.
year. My boating expedition last year was not good. So we're gonna take it easy on the boats. But guys, I'm gonna hop over to the other room. Enjoy. Spencer will be in touch.
All right, Dennis. Any final thoughts for the day before we let you go as well?
This is an important day for the markets. We had a nice snapback rally. We need to hold this rally. We need to go up and challenge new highs. We don't want to start to see it leak. I myself personally, on a few stocks that I was like, I was kind of iffy on, and they tanked yesterday morning. A lot of those have bounced back. I'm probably going to lighten some of those up into it. I'm not buying stocks today. This time, if you really wanted to buy, I guess was yesterday on the dip. I didn't have the guts. I wasn't buying, yesterday morning either because I didn't know. If we were to come back down and retest some of the lows, then I might get, down and dirty in a few. But this is a day where I think if you were so inclined to go in and just buy the dip, I think you're taking profits today.
Yeah, I think there's this expectation sometimes that you swing at every pitch, and
I don't swing at most pitches.
And like whether or not you were buying or selling yesterday, you're saying you really weren't doing either. You really,
like day trading, I was in and out doing some scalping and stuff, but
a little bit, but like
a little bit,
overall though, if you don't,
I just don't, just because the market sells off 500 points doesn't mean like, oh yeah, come on, buy. I mean, it would have worked yesterday, and it works a lot of times, but sometimes you see follow through. It can happen. So I like to have, like I said, that flush. And then you get a little snapback, and then you get a retest. I like buying on the retest because then I have that low to lean on. Maybe the retest holds. Yeah. That's where I make most of my swing trading money, is by not jumping in, being the first one in. And sometimes, that works really well. Just randomly buying, close, plug your nose and just buy the dip. Yeah. But I've lost a lot of money doing that too. And my game is capital preservation. Mm-hmm. I like to make money, but I don't like to lose money at all. So I'm very risk adverse. People think, as a day trader, oh, you're a gambler. You're just out there gambling. I'm not a gambler. I'm looking at specific situations, like Jeremy Newsom, like Christian Fromhertz, where I can control the risk. Mm-hmm. So I'm making educated bets where I have, defined risk, where I've got, okay, I see where my out is. If the worst case scenario happens, I'm going to sell it here, as opposed to getting stuck in something. And then, all of a sudden I'm down 10% and I don't know what to do. So I don't like taking the heat. It's a way I pay my bills. So just jumping in, when the market's collapsing, I don't buy that initial collapse, unless I'm really got some conviction for some reason. I think the sell-off is stupid. Yesterday, there's lots of reasons. So I still don't know. It's still guilty until proven innocent to me. That's why I might lighten up some of my other trades.
All right.
Dennis, you're an average hitter. You're not a home run hitter. You're the old school baseball player, not the new one.
base hit trader. Base hit trader. So yeah. Not going for the fences.
He'll just as easily take a walker hit by pitch. All right, thanks a lot, Dennis.
Yeah, throw myself in front of that ball all the
We'll
time.
talk to you again on Monday.
Okay, see you guys.
All righty, and I know. All right, Dennis, I'll get you your gift card. Okay, I will send you your Timmy Hose gift card this weekend for a dozen donuts because that's what I owe you. Because I lost that bet. Real quick, some programming notes. A few people were asking about Marcus Headcarter from Rockwell Trading. Marcus is actually out for the next few weeks. Won't be on the show for a while. But we will try to get him back at some point. And also today is going to be a bit of an unusual day for Benzinga shows. Normally we would go live from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. But we've got a quarterly meeting today. We do an all hands meeting every quarter. And it's going for a chunk of the day. We all have to be there, so we can't be doing live stuff while that's going on. So we're going to be doing a couple replays and a couple shows that don't usually air on Fridays. We'll have them today. We'll have beginner trading at 11 o'clock. We'll have Trend Spider, Jake Wojastik, he's the man, on at noon. We'll air another interview at 1, and we'll get through the day like that. So unusual day for us just because we have a quarterly meeting that we all have to be at. But for the next hour, I will be joined by Ryan Faluna, who's here in the studio with me, and we will be walking you through the open. He'll be trading. We'll be using Benzinga Pro, all that good stuff. Ryan Faluna, good morning, sir.
Good morning. How's it going, Spence? I for one love the quarterly meetings. I love seeing everybody. I love hearing about everything. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm jacked.
I don't know why I thought you were going to be in Detroit. I guess I was
because I normally am. I normally show up for all of the quarterly meetings. I make the incredibly long and arduous journey from Chicago to Detroit for those quarterly meetings. But this week, actually, this time actually, I'm coming in next week, and I'm coming in next week to meet up with one of our dedicated and loyal viewers who's also making an appearance at the Benzinga HQ. So I arranged my schedule for that.
Wow.
All Richard, how's it going, my man? Hadid, how's it going? Space Ape Brian is an AMC hater. Oh, I love it. I absolutely.
Can I just go on the record that Dennis and I had a bet, and I was on the bullish side of the AMC bet. I was the one that said AMC would go to 67. Dennis said it would go to 40, and thanks to that bullishness, I now owe Dennis a dozen donuts. So that's what it got me. That's what being bullish AMC got me.
I remember that. So first of all, I love that you guys were betting donuts. That's hilarious. Hopefully they're good donuts. I've heard about some of these really good donut places in Detroit. I've only had one of them, so hopefully you're getting some good.
Dennis is in the Yukon. He's in the Yukon, so I'm gonna have to airdrop him some Timmy Hose or something. I don't know. But
yeah, no, I don't know if you recall, but I said I wish I had more hands to give this more thumbs down the other day.
Yeah, you did.
That's where the hater. That's where the hater.
Spencer, get us a company drone and we'll fly it over the border and see if they catch it.
Yeah, that's what we should do. You're right. I would have paid to see Jason try to talk his way into Canada because that guy could talk his way into anything. So I would pay money. Okay, enough of that. Let's get to markets here. I want to bring up my Benzinga Pro. Ryan, you can bring up your Pro. We can go back and forth. What are you watching this morning?
All right, so I see here in the chat, it was Trent asking me if I like TBLT. Ben, I missed it there. Hector, missed you too. Hello to both of you. TBLT, do I like the stock? I don't really know much about the actual stock itself and its long-term prospects. I do like it for a potential day trade today. So the reason that was on my list, the reason that you saw that here on my screen is because you'll notice if you filter for pre-market gainers this morning in your movers tool, TBLT is going to be the second name in that list. And it's going back and forth in these extended sessions on a lot of volume. So I suspect that this is going to be in play when the market opens. So I just marked off some support and resistance levels. I actually haven't really taken a look at the daily yet. Yeah.
Can you share your screen so we can see what we're looking at? But while you do that, if you're wondering why TBLT is up 45% this morning, it's because they disclosed the first half sales through Amazon were up 118% year over year. And so this is tough built industries, TBLT we're talking about. And they're
absolutely. And Spence, I'm glad that you said that because one of the things that I do when I'm actually doing this setup here, when I'm trying to pick out what it is that I'm going to trade, one of the things that I look for is one of these companies that has some type of catalyst. And you just outlined it, right? The company reported sales through Amazon that are up 118% year over year. So that seems to be like a pretty good catalyst. Will this close higher today? I don't know for sure. My crystal ball doesn't really work. But what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to play these odds, right? So in an ideal situation, I would like this stock to sell off to 101 right out of the open, hold, and then reverse. That's what I'm going to look for. We'll see if that materializes. If it doesn't, or perhaps if it goes a little bit further, it might go to around 97 cents. I would do the exact same play. If this pretty much rips out the gate, I probably wouldn't try to scalp it until we cross 117. So that's my plan here. I'm not going to buy it right out of the open. I want to see it approach a support level. The one that I would like it to approach the most is 101, and then I would try to play that for the reversal. So that's the trade plan here on TBLT. Can't say that I actually like it long term. Haven't done enough due diligence on it.
Space Save says it's mostly hype. Wait, I'm hearing an echo. Is that me? Okay. Space Save says it's mostly hype. He's been trading in and out of it for the past year. So. And so I get that, and that's one of the reasons why I'm saying that this is pretty much only for a day trade, right? I mean, if we take a look at this chart, this thing has really kind of just been going down for a while. Not really sure if this is a pretender or what's going on here. This is a very, very short-term trade, right? I'm not going to try to marry this stock. I'm not going to try to swing this. I'm certainly not going to try to invest in this. If you know more about that and you have an edge on that, awesome. My goal for today, my trade plan for today is a quick in and a quick out. Okay, so Ryan mentioned, let me bring up my pro. Ryan mentioned that
yes.
TBLT was number 2 on the up movers list this morning. The reason why he skipped over number 1 is because there really isn't much of trade to be made this morning in stamps.com. It's up 63% because they're getting taken private at a price of $330. So at the moment, STMP is at $324. And it's going to be hovering around that price. So there's a $6 discount being priced in. That's the risk arbitrage traders saying we think there's like a slight chance this does go through, keeping it below the 330 price, but there really is no opportunity at the open for STMP today. It's over.
Spence, I was not at my desk when this news article broke. Was there? I'm seeing on Twitter that there was a period of time. I actually saw a tweet by Dennis. That someone could buy right after the PR was released, before the stock was halted. Is that the case?
So yeah, if you want to rewind the stream about an hour, where Dennis was very angry this morning about this. So let me show you the press release in Benzinga Pro. There's the press release. Look at the time, 7:30:00. That's the time that the PR came out. So typically always when stocks are taken over, they are halted, right? Okay. Yep. We can see the halt in Benzinga Pro. Okay, I went to my signals tool, which I call halts. I have the halts tab here. I search for STMP, and you can see, okay, we saw the press release was at 7:30:00. The stock was halted at 7:30:03. So for 3 seconds, the stock was able to trade. You had some people get picked off. Dennis was not in that group, but he saw it and was pissed off that it happened. So the HFTs had a nice 3-second jump there. So that's what that was about.
And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but normally these things are only trading for pennies. You got 100 points out of this move? It was 220. It went to 330.
Yeah. I mean, in this case, there's a really big premium, right? The thing closed. Yeah. The thing closed at what, 198 yesterday, and the takeout price was 330. That's a big premium. That's juicy.
Yeah, right? that is juicy. Okay, wild. Well, I missed that. I certainly wasn't in that. That's crazy though. And stamps.com, I mean, I this was not on my radar at all. I've been waiting for Hershey to get bought out by Uncle Warren, which didn't happen.
That's not going to happen, and I will tell you why. Okay,
tell me.
Every few years we get these rumors about Hershey. It's not always Warren Buffett. It could be anybody. For a few years there, it was like there was like a rumor that Mondelez was going to buy him. Right, there's going to be a Mondelez Hershey thing. Hershey has this weird ownership structure. They're owned by like a trust. And the trust has to approve everything. And the trust basically never approves anything.
Interesting.
I wrote an article about this years ago, back when the Mondelez thing was happening. But there's basically, as I understand it, or at least as I researched it back in like 2017, 2018, somewhere in that range. That there is basically no chance of Hershey like being taken. They've been approached like dozens of times over the years, and they just reject every offer.
Yeah, and the reason that I took this trade, it was because of the whole plane being in Omaha and all that. And I get it, and that's the thing, and that's the thing. When you trade on rumors, it might not work. So today might be the day of reckoning for this call position that I'm in. We will see.
I think Vegas is kidding, but in all seriousness, I think Hershey does own Hershey Park. So, it would theoretically, an acquisition would come with Hershey Park, which is
what is Hershey Park? Am I that much of a boomer that I don't know?
No, if you're not from the East Coast, you don't know Hershey Park, because Hershey, Pennsylvania Hershey's in Pennsylvania, and if you're from the area, you go to the factory, you go to the theme park. It's a nice little theme park.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the story of Hershey. In the whole thing in Pennsylvania and making chocolate with fresh milk and the whole 9 yards, but I didn't know about the theme park. So
yeah, it's right in the middle of Amish country. It's pretty crazy. Anyway, moving on.
Anyway, so Anthony Foddy here in the chat is asking about thoughts on the Nvidia dip, and I thought that I might just give you my 2 cents because this is actually a stock that we've talked about many times on the Happy Hour show, and several of our viewers of the Happy Hour show, one of which, Hector, who's here right now, is trading Nvidia. I believe it was Hector, unless I'm confusing it with somebody else. No, maybe it was Sebastian. In any case, one of our viewers here is trading Nvidia here. And what we discussed on the Happy Hour show is, well, first of all, this is going to be the trade that they took was a short. They bought puts, right? And so the thesis of that trade was, look at this run that Nvidia is on. I think it's due for some type of corrective move, so I want to play that here. And so they did. I believe it was 2 days ago. It was Sebastian. Ryan, it was Sebastian. Okay, yeah. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to miss that. But in any case, it was Sebastian. We're talking about taking a short. So he actually took it, I believe, right here, right when this on this candle. During this day, it gapped down for him and he closed it. So the corresponding thought here with Nvidia is this is super strong. The Fed has pretty much told us it's risk on for big tech for the second half of the year here. Seemed to be a little bit of a rotation back into that. I think that the move here is simply corrective. I would not look to short this. So personally, for me, being someone that's a little bit more conservative with the trades, I try to enter around more of a support level. I'll be honest with you, looking here, we're at about $800. I'm not sure we see 750-ish, 748-ish. So if you wanted to take a stab long here, maybe that's the play. I'm not gonna. Nvidia is not something that I'm looking to play here in the second half of the year, at least not yet. I'm not sure what the catalyst is. This has been on a huge run. Stock looks extended to me, but there's just no way I'm going to short something that's this.
The catalyst is extremely simple. Stock split.
Yeah, but see, we've talked about that too. And my Apple position, my long-term Apple investment position, the recent one, that took place after the stock split. And I thought a lot about what happened, and I thought a lot about how that split actually took place. And what I noticed was that when you're long a stock like this, like right now, pre-split, and all of a sudden you wake up and you have more shares, even though the price is accurately split and it's not necessarily a profit, the tendency is to lighten up some of those shares so that you can redeploy that capital at some other place. And so what I noticed in Apple, Apple was super strong leading into the split. Nothing had changed fundamentally. Nothing had changed earnings numbers wise. And when they split, Apple, I think it was like a split where it went to like $91 or whatever. It actually traded down to about 87 before reversing, and then we never saw 87 again up till this day. And so I think the dynamic here is that when you have very, very popular, well-owned stocks like Nvidia is, you're going to get some of these people that are going to lighten up their position because now they have 4, 5, 6 times. What is it? Is 6 or 7 to 1 split? Do you recall off the top of your head?
No, the beauty of Benzinga Pro is I don't have to remember. Because
1 for 4. It's 1 for 4.
It's 1 for 4. It's
1 for 4. Yeah. So the Nvidia holders are going to have 4 times as many shares as they
4
have.
For 1. Excuse me, 4 for 1. That's what
4 for 1. They're going to have 4 times as many shares as they had before. So to me, if that were me, I would definitely lighten up on some of those. If I had 100 shares and it split to 400 shares, I'd probably sell 100 of those and then redeploy that capital elsewhere. So I do think that is a good catalyst, Spencer, because I think ultimately by having a lower price, you're going to attract more buyers into a very strong company. This company also has a Bitcoin angle because the cards they make are used by Bitcoin miners the world over. So I think that's a really good catalyst, but I would rather wait till the split actually takes place, see if you get a little bit of a dip, and then go long there. So I agree with you on the catalyst, but I'm not trying to position myself ahead of that catalyst.
Les Ram is posting, think of all the new retail traders, they're going to go bananas over the new split price. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Am I the only one that doesn't think that's really going to happen? I mean, if you own, I don't care how new you are, I don't know, who's really going to wake up on the morning of the 22nd and the 20th, sorry, the 20th, and have a conniption because their stock has been divided by their price is divided by 4. I don't. Who doesn't know about? I don't know. I just can't imagine people wouldn't know about it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just can't imagine there'd be that many uninformed people out there.
I don't know though. I mean, a split, nothing actually changes with the company, but the perception from the market participants may be different. And I think that's one of the things you can't always predict that, right? And there was someone in the chat here. Andre, 1 or 2 days after Apple and Tesla's split, they tanked. It was like the 2nd or 3rd September, they dragged the market down with them, and then they reversed and went higher. And so that's the type of action that I'm hoping for. That's why I'm not positioned ahead of the split. The way that I would actually play this, just to take this a step further, the way I would actually play this is that on the day of the split, I'd look to play contracts. And most likely I'd try to play a shorter term trade. If I'm able to build up some profits, then starting a swing, I've got a little bit more of a buffer zone. So just the strategy there.
And we do of course have precedent for this, whether it's Tesla or Apple. Apple was on let me put Apple here. Apple was on this was Apple, wasn't it? That right there. That was the Apple split. It ran into the split and then sold off after. I'm 99% sure.
Right. Yeah. And so this is the type so first of all, Spence, that split that you're outlining there, I actually owned Apple from the last time that it split.
What?
I think that was back in 2014.
Yeah.
So I've been long Apple for quite a long time for my investment position. But this dynamic, that run up into the split, the sell off, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's why I don't want to position myself ahead of the split, because that might be a sell the news event, if you will. I would absolutely love for that to come in a little bit and allow me to get it at a discount. NVIDIA is a great company. And like I said, I mean, I use their graphics card right now to do work, play video games, and mine Bitcoin. They make great products. They're super strong. I think the company's great.
Okay, moving on from NVIDIA, back to the movers tool, keeping an eye on what's up, what's down in the pre-market. Whoa, what happened to GALT? Galectin Therapeutics in the last few minutes. Well, not the last few minutes, but it just moved up. Didn't see it earlier on top of my movers here. So they have good phase 1B trial data this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. In combination with Keytruda. Yeah. So GALT, this is another ticker that's actually on my list for potential trades today, because again, we have that catalyst, and because now I've identified an area of support and resistance. So this is going to work similar to the other trade, right? We're trying to keep this as simple as possible. So I'd like to see this in this case. I'd like to see this actually come to 388. I think if you trade all the way down to 364, I think that you're going to induce some panic from these buyers that are still in profit, and you might get a little bit of a plunge there. With these smaller cap names, GALT especially, I feel like this one has been, all right. So this is important. Whenever you're looking for a trade like this, I like to look at what stocks have done in the past when they have something like this, right? So GALT, you can see that right now I'm on a daily chart, and oops, I didn't mean to draw that line there. Right now I'm on a daily chart. If I go back and I zoom in to some of these peaks, you can see that GALT has a tendency to, when it spikes, sometimes it's a multi-day move here. All right. So my issue is that when I actually apply that to today, I just want to make sure that the continued momentum is up, right? Because as soon as this market opens, if this thing sells off, I don't want to necessarily be catching the falling knife, right? I don't want to be buying on these support levels until I have a good feeling that this is going to hold in there. And I just don't know that yet. If it does, I think we've got some real potential to trade up to 490 here. And that could be a great trade, especially if you're able to buy it in, you know, the 380s. You might get an entire point out of that if the trade materializes. So we'll see how it goes. I feel like I've traded this ticker before. I might be confusing it with Gurn because these are you know, have been day trader names for a while. But again, short term only here, trying to get in and get out. Support and resistance is the plan.
What else is on your list for the morning here?
Let me go ahead.
We covered two.
Yep. Let me go ahead and pull that up here. So here is my list of daily watches today. We've talked about a few of them. Let me go ahead and get you a details tool here and a chart so we can kind of go through them here. Carve this had an absolutely monster day yesterday. I may sit this one out. I do kind of want to watch this. Those of you that have you know, seen me do this before, I try to stay away from the big high flyers that can eventually get people hurt. I try to take things, the singles to home run comparison that you were just making with Dennis. I too, although I trade much differently than Dennis, I too view myself as a singles hitter as opposed to a home run hitter. We already talked about Galt, so we're just going to go ahead and skip that. Same with TBLT. This is actually looking a little sour here. RSLS is another one that's on this list. And RSLS, this also came from the movers tool here. So I'm basically just doing the same thing, marking off support and resistance levels, hoping that we actually get a dip out of the open and then a reversal when the buyers find it. Next tickers that I have here, this is BHTG. This came from last night's scan. My spot here, and in fact, I didn't mark it on this chart, but my spot here is 182. So I expect when the market is open, I expect this number to be in play at some point. I would also not be surprised to see a large seller block at 182. And if that large seller block gets taken out, that could be your catalyst for a nice little volume expansion trade. That would be one of the things that I'm looking for here on this name. CLXT would be something in a very similar situation. I'm actually looking for this high to come down today, 542. Same deal, right? This high was put in yesterday where there was a bunch of volume. Stock was a much lower price. I suspect that there was a big seller here or some reason why they found resistance. If we go to test that level again and snap it, that could be another day trade scalp. GLOP, same thing. This also came from the scan. You can see recently GLOP had a pretty huge move here, right? So for me, one of the things that I'm looking at here is twofold, right? If we take this out, all right, 530, if we take that out on volume, which we're real close to, I'd be looking for a move towards the 593 handle. That's a big spread there, right? So you got to be very careful if you're going to take this, and you got to have a plan in case it doesn't work. But this recently has made some pretty big moves. I at minimum want to keep an eye on it out of the open here. Rail, same deal. This also came from the scan. We're essentially looking for the same thing. You can see all of the abnormal volume down here yesterday, midday. So if that happens again, or if there was something that those traders were positioning themselves for, 633 looks to be the spot, only 30 cents away from where we're at now. And then finally, SIEB. This also came from the scan yesterday. Remember, this scan is a relative volume scan. So it's picking up when it sees volume activity like this versus average volume like this, it's going to alert the scan. Then I take a look at the chart and I see if it looks juicy. You'll notice here that some of these charts are near the bottom. They're no strangers to popping in the past, which means that they're, can possibly do that again if the conditions are correct. So on this one, we're looking for volume. We're looking for volume on all these plays. If you don't get volume here, there's no trade for me, right? So we're looking for volume on all of these. On SIEB here, we're looking for a 535 snap.
Okay. Let's take a moment, a few minutes before the open here, and pause for a second. Ryan, the people want more of you. Let's tell them how they can get that.
People want more of me. That's the first time I've heard that. Okay,
yeah, I know.
I was teeing you up there, Spence. I was teeing you up.
So here's the situation, right? Ryan is live, right, every Friday from 9 to 10 on this stream, right? But Ryan, that is not the only time Ryan is doing this. He's doing this every day. Ryan, where are you doing it?
Yeah, so we do a happy hour show every day, Monday through Thursday, from 4 to 5 Eastern after the market closes. The closing bell signals the start of the happy hour. And the happy hour is not like our YouTube stream. It's actually just a Zoom meeting where everyone is welcome to turn on their camera and their microphone. And if you want to discuss what happened in the day, different trades that you made, potential setups, ideas, sometimes we build watch lists. We basically kind of just cover what took place and then what to kind of look forward to going forward. We've got some great traders in there of all different time frames and all different backgrounds.
But here's the catch, though. Like it's you say, it's just a Zoom meeting. The Zoom, it's only available to people in Pro. Am I right in saying that?
Well, no. So basically anyone can
okay.
sign up for it, but because we're trying to make it, we're trying to get Pro users in there, we pretty much advertise it through Pro. We started doing it here on this show because obviously our loyal YouTube viewers should join as well. It shouldn't just be Pro people. So.
Okay, but it's much easier to access from Benzinga Pro because it's
absolutely
advertised in there.
Yeah, we put a pop-up, a little pop-up in the bottom left corner of the screen every day before we start. So if you forget the link, misplace the link, you can generally just join from there. We got some great conversations. There's been a lot of successful trades in there. There's been a lot of ideas in there. There's a lot of really good knowledge sharing going on in there. And then traders of all different skill levels. I had a gentleman yesterday ask a very basic options question and then apologize for his question. And I told him, hey, no sorries here. All right, let's take a look at the market. Let's see what we got.
There's our bell. Let's see what charts I've got open. I've got space open. I'm watching that one like a hawk.
Yeah, I kind of want to see what space does too. I'm really curious to see how this launch goes over the weekend. It's on Sunday morning, right? Sunday morning?
Yeah, it's supposed to be. Supposed to be. I'm also watching KB Home. They expanded their buyback and they declared a dividend. So I'm watching KB Home here at the open as well. Did I just hear Charles?
I have my squawk muted for the sake of this presentation. So
okay. Sometimes I turn Charles on here, and then the people that have Charles on are going to have to turn him off in Pro because they hear him twice. But
yeah, I pretty much always have. I'm notorious. By the way, TBLT took out that 105 level. Looks to be a seller wall at 106. That fell too. So we're kind of gearing here on TBLT. No position yet. Didn't really meet my criteria, but just something to keep an eye on. I always have Charles on, and a number of times I forget to mute it, and I'll join either a meeting or a session with somebody, and all of a sudden Charles will be squawking something. That's just how it goes.
And you're like, Charles, shut up! I'm in a meeting. But
I would never tell Charles to shut up. I would never ever do that. Another seller wall here on TBLT at 109. I think if this falls, you might get a little pop here. There it goes. Okay, so you got a bigger wall at 110. I'll be honest with you. I feel like there goes 110. Refresh seller on 110. Nope, cleared him out again. 111. I think we're going to 117 here. Because it didn't dip, I actually didn't grab it here. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with missing it. I know I'll get another opportunity later today. If it's not on this name, on another name. Buying looks strong here, though. I think we got another 4 cents here. It looks like another big seller wall at 115. We'll see if that gets taken out. Yeah, wow, lots of volume here. Lots of volume here on this name out the open.
All right, I'm switching over to my Benzinga Pro scanner tool, which is what I use from the open to the close. I only use my movers tool for the pre-market and after hours.
Yep, same.
So scanner, what jumps out? Do you is your leader downward? And again, I say this every day. I am most interested in volatility from the open, movement from the open, because we all know. I'm on with you guys. I'm on with Joel and Dennis. I've seen what's happened overnight, right? The overnight session can often distort percentage gains during the day because, a lot of percentage gains are calculated from the close to the close, and the overnight move can distort that. I'm most interested in moving from the open onward. So is your leader downward? Not anymore, actually, because HGen, which was your biggest gainer or one of your biggest gainers this morning, or no. Yeah. Big gainer this morning, selling off here at the open. They had some news this morning as well. So watching HGen, watching Do You. I'm watching Oh, Newegg is back.
Emran, by the way, Emran popping here. This was a massive day trade the past couple of days. Looks like we're popping again here. No position on Emran.
Is Newegg back? Dare I say it? Are we going to 50 in Newegg, guys?
Pretty strong out of the open here. Didn't hit my scanner, but definitely pretty strong out of the open here. I think for Newegg, one of the first things we're going to need to do is clear 52.
Well, we're gonna get there pretty soon.
Hey man, if we do that, we do. You know, that's just how it goes. Let me take a look at what's going on with some of my other positions here. Okay, nothing crazy. Nothing crazy here. All right, let's watch Newegg for a sec here. Yeah, looking strong.
52 is within sight. It's coming. Let's zoom out on this thing. We're on a 1 minute chart. Let's zoom out on Newegg.
52, then 54 look to be your spots here. Which getting some action today.
Yesterday's high was 58. What jumped out about 52 to you? I'm just curious.
Here, yeah, so 52, this was an intraday. 52 made an intraday high right around midday yesterday. And then we had then in the afternoon when we had, and that was on a volume pop. Then in the afternoon, we had a slightly higher volume pop that put us at right around 54. So that area in there between 52 to 54, that to me feels like your resistance.
Okay.
If we clear that out, I think we can go higher.
Newegg is Jadid sold TBLT for a fantastic profit. Jadid, nicely done.
So real quick, Spence, and I'm not trying to be the grammar police here, but Hadid has actually been a long time happy hour viewer. Made an enormously successful trade from the content in happy hour. By the way, I for about a month mispronounced his name until he very kindly corrected me. I did the same thing. I used to call him Jadid. He corrected me, and so now I feel compelled to correct you.
If we butcher your name, just tell us, and we won't do it anymore.
So Hadid, looking like you sold TBLT for a nice profit. Awesome, my man. Were you in from yesterday? Help me out. Were you in from yesterday? Did you take that today out of the open? You also sold space as well. Way to go.
I should have bought this space. Why didn't I freaking buy it?
What was your thesis here on space, Spence?
It's extremely simple. The run up into the launch Sunday.
Gotcha.
Dennis's point, he doesn't know if he has the balls to hold it through the weekend. I don't know if I'd have the balls either, but I would have loved to own it today. I don't know why I didn't buy it. I think about these things and then I don't actually pull the trigger. This is my strife. But I don't know.
Yeah, I'm the same way. We talked about space in the happy hour too, and one of the things that I was saying is this kind of captures my imagination, right? The little boy in me wanting to go to space, the daredevil, all of that stuff. I'm intrigued by this new program of commercially going to space. I think it's cool. Now, when that comes to an investment, I'm just not sure how to actually invest that, right? To me, it feels like a sell the news event. But one of the things that we discussed yesterday was, well, hey, what if there's a massive success and everyone's smiling and you get, incredible photographs or something? I don't know what's going to happen. But if you get some really good news from that or some really good coverage, you might have quite a nice pop on Monday morning. And I think that's what traders are playing for. The opposite is also true, though, right?
Do we just hit 55 on NEG? No, we didn't. 54.95 is where we
got. So there's your area, right? We're in that resistance area. It looks like we did try to take out that high. We're not above it yet. I think we take that out and we stay above that. Let's see if it's got the strength to do that. The high from the morning, what did you say? It was 58, 59, 58, 80?
The high from yesterday is what I
You're right. That was achieved in like the first 10 minutes of the session. It was
let's zoom out. So this is yesterday. Yeah, the high of the day was 58.80 yesterday.
58.80. Okay, so I think if we trade above 54 here, which here we go, looks like 58 might be your next stop here. Definitely seems to be some buying momentum or just some momentum in general here. As long as these buyers stay in here and this volume stays high, I think we actually push 58. And if we break that, I mean, maybe we try that. That'd be an incredible move if we do that. I don't want to say that just yet. Through 55 now, here we go.
This is pretty wild stuff. God, what's crazy is like I feel like historically, and I guess what I mean by that is I mean like pre-COVID, you see these crazy moves and they're one-offs. You get the move, and that's it. They're not really. I don't remember them being sustained too often. You see this crazy one day, maybe you get a second day thing, but most likely not. Now, with I think GameStop kind of set the tone because GameStop never came all the way back down and then came back up. I think that set the tone here. Now you see a stock make a crazy move and give a chunk of it back. It's liable to go back up a second time. And so I would have always said the move is done historically. Oh, the Newegg made the move. Story's over. Move on with your life. You missed it. Now can't say that. You can't say that.
Nope. And that's and you know what, Spence, that's exactly why one of the things that I do on some of these day trade setups is I look back and just recently and I say, hey, is this prone to making a move? Has this made some type of outsized move recently? Because the reality is it can happen again. And one of the things, I hate to say it again, but one of the things that we've discussed on the happy hour is some of these stocks can be whatever they want for a temporary period of time. All right. So a company like Newegg, I love Newegg. Full disclosure, I love Newegg.
Full disclosure, I don't even know what Newegg is.
Okay, so Newegg is a website where you can order computer parts for. So people that build their own computers like me, I've been doing it since I was 14 years old, over 2 decades now. We love these websites because we're able to get high performance parts at a cheaper price than pre-built machines. I love Newegg. I love them as a company. I love the way they take care of their customers. I don't think it's worth $70. I just don't, and maybe I'm wrong, but even me liking the company, I think it's a little elevated up here. And so this is kind of what I mean about these stocks can be whatever they want. If there's enough buying interest, if there's enough momentum, if there's enough people talking about it, you can push these things around. And again, Newegg is a good company. They make good products. They do a good job helping computer builders.
And you know what's wild is like Newegg is not a typical low float name. It doesn't really have a low float. What's the float? It's like 300. What? It's like a million. 300. What is it? It's I think it's like 300 million. I don't know. Shares outstanding. Shares outstanding. 368 million. So the float's a little smaller than that, but still, that's not a low float.
We are in a new age, man. The new investor looks at story. Story's everything. It's not always fundamentals. It's not always technicals. Sometimes stocks are just running purely based off a story.
For sure. 100%.
That's a really good point, Mitch. And I'm someone that thinks, eventually everything is going to come back to fundamentals. I believe fundamentals are important, but there's a period of time where it almost doesn't matter. And I think that that's one of the periods we find ourselves in here. And to Mitch's point, it's about the story. The story here is outweighing some of those fundamentals. And if you get any type of like retail backing, like what Wall Street Bets and the Reddit crowd has been able to do, it's really impressive, right? They're getting people to get interested or into the market. Everyone just hopes it doesn't end poorly for those people. That always seems to be the thing that we're waiting on or that we're hoping for. NEO looks like it might have found a bottom here, intraday bottom. Looks like this is
NEO, NIO.
NIO looks like we're right about at the highs of yesterday.
Oh, they had an upgrade this morning.
Yep.
I think it was HSBC. Right. Let me go to my ratings calendar and confirm it for you, but I'm 99% sure it was HSBC. They gave it a price target of 69. Good, HSBC. Good. Back to my scanner tool. Okay. So, and see, look, let's go to a 15-minute chart. Right. Spent the entire pre-market after hour session going higher, giving back some gains here. After the
but you'll notice that the only gains that we've given back so far are those gains from the pre-market.
Sure.
So now that that's kind of over, let's see where we go from here. One thing to consider about NEO, big thing here is that I'm definitely a believer that we're in the early innings of the EV phase. There's going to be plenty of opportunity in a lot of these names going forward. You didn't miss it if you missed Tesla like I did. The thing about NEO, I generally don't like Chinese names because I can't trust the accounting and things can change on a whim. And for investments, that's bad. Now, as far as NEO goes, from what I understand, NEO is the stock that is the most friendly with the Chinese government. So if you're going to play one of these names, it makes a lot of sense that NEO is the selection because you're probably going to get more tradable patterns or more predictability on what that stock is actually going to do. So with that regard, kind of like Neo, but still, I'm very wary of these Chinese names. I often don't trade them. If I did ever trade them, it would absolutely be an intraday trade. I would not hold it overnight. I mean, the whole DD thing, that should be all you needed to see. That should be all you needed to see.
I've done a complete 180 on this for years. I was excited about China. You've got it really at its most basic. It's a demographics play, right? You've got one of the fastest growing economies in the world. I think second only to India. Huge population where the internet is a bigger part of their culture than it is here. All these exciting, apps and social media platforms and et cetera, et cetera. And I just want no part of that. I want no, especially the more I read about like Hong Kong and what they're doing there. I just want no part of that. The fact that they can just decide, you say from what you understand, Neo is friendly with the government. Okay, that could change tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah. That's Spence. That's exactly it, and that's why I would limit myself to intraday trades. That's exactly right.
I want no part of that. Okay, I mentioned KB Home at the open. That just topped 40. Looks like a lot of green on the screen today. Neo notwithstanding, but a lot of green.
Spencer, real quick, that there are a couple of people asking for the happy hour link in the chat. I would very much like to post that. Do I actually have to go to the YouTube site to post that? Or can I post it somehow here?
You can go to YouTube, or you can send it to me and I'll post it.
Okay, let me send it to you just because you're already practiced in all of this. Here is the Zoom registration link. Folks, once you register once, you're automatically registered for all subsequent episodes. So all you have to do is register once.
Where's this link?
And then there was something else. Space Ape says, Ryan looks like my high school Hungarian friend. Lol. Your high school Hungarian friend is a good looking guy. I don't know how to take that. I'm not Hungarian. I don't know where you went to high school. But thank you. I will take that as a compliment. You seem nice. I also had another funny comment here I wanted to address. All right, Ryan, you're on my good side again. But if you ever be a jerk about AMC again, then it's back to the bad side. Touche, no problem. And I want to be very clear. When I'm asking about AMC, or when I get asked about AMC, I approach it from my own investor standpoint. I would not want to be invested in this, but believe me, I totally understand why all of you traders out there are interested in trading this name. Volatility, capturing volatility as a trader is inevitably what makes you money, and these stocks have been crazy. I'm not trying to put anyone down.
I would disagree with you. I would disagree. AMC was crazy. It was crazy. It has been the opposite of crazy. Look at this chart. This is a daily chart. Okay, look at the range and look at the volume decline. Okay, that's not what you want to see.
Right.
You don't want to see declining volume and a range like this. This has been the exact opposite of crazy.
Do me a favor. With right in that same window, type in GME.
Okay, you want to compare it or just
just type it in there because I want to look at the exact same thing. So in GME, and actually, if you could back out a little bit,
I will.
So in GME, you can see like right there on the left hand side of your chart, that was crazy, and then the volume died down just like you outlined, and then all of a sudden it got crazy again. So that's my only point here is that you're right. And that's one of the reasons why I don't want to step in and buy right here. Right, the volume's drying up; it's not as crazy as it has been. But that doesn't mean that things can't change. And one of the things that we've seen about this crowd of retail traders, the wind shifts quickly. And when the wind shifts, you better be prepared to take advantage of that. Otherwise, you could be left holding the bag or just simply miss the trade. So although I don't like it as an investment, I'm not trying to poo-poo it, and I'm not trying to tell traders out there that have a different risk tolerance than me, hey, don't trade this because you're going to get hurt. I'm a firm believer that, you know what, getting hurt is going to help you make better decisions in the future. We talked about this in the happy hour too. I'm sorry, it seems like a repeat. Okay. I blew up my first two accounts, and one of the guys that's in our happy hour is a 40-year private equity veteran, has been doing this for a long time. He said he blew up his first account too, and I kind of joked and I said, blowing up an account seems like a rite of passage for traders. And the reason that that's the case is because when you make a mistake, when you get hurt, you learn more from that than you do from profits. And so it's important to remember that. So I'm not against doing this. I just hate seeing people get hurt. By the way, Verb, getting caught off the scanner here. Verb, this definitely a potential play here. Kind of be watching this. We want to see if this can break 237 as a spot on Verve. 237.
All right, I'm going to change my scanner to looking for movement in the last 15 minutes. Space, yeah. Whoever just mentioned space. Thank you, theater guy. That was a short-lived pop. So.
Well, again, let's see what happens later in the day, especially as we get closer to the close here.
Yeah.
This is really interesting here, right? Still watching Verb here. Really think that we're going to take this 237 level out. Sure feels like that. Again, what I'm looking for here is a volume expansion. I want to see the volume continue. Now we're still 7 cents away from this, so it'll be interesting to see if we actually take that out on the first go around. This trade might be a little bit more difficult of these volume expansion trades. We also might just be setting up for the spot later on today. So I actually pulled up a different window here, Spencer. Let me see if I can. Yeah. Okay. So you got my chart up here. So real quick, right now, this is the level that I'm watching, right? You can see that yesterday we made this high on tremendous volume. If we snap that here today, I think that there's going to be a trade that's on, but it's possible. Oh, we're at the 237. I'm talking too much. Here we go. 237 is the spot. Looks like they are taking it.
Are we in?
I'm not in yet.
All right.
See, this is why. See how it's kind of pulling back here. I wasn't sure if they were going to take it on the first attempt there. Looks like they didn't. So we'll see. Now, if this comes back in, okay, if this comes back in, that doesn't mean that this is over. That means that 237, if we test this spot again in today's session, whether it be in the next 5 minutes or in the next 2 hours, there is a potential trade here. So right now, I'm not in. Verb is my top watch here on a 237 break on volume. Not sure if we're going to get it in the next few minutes here. Hopefully we get it before our quarterly meeting starts. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to pay attention.
To Jake Johnson's comment in chat, you're right about trading intraday, but frankly, there is still a lot of opportunity in the first and last half hour of the day, right? You see, even people like Dennis who don't trade during the day will trade until 10, 15, 10:30, and then from 3 to 4, right? Because there's always opportunities after the open and into the close. There's a lot of price discovery. So just because the opening bell rings and the machines turn on and you're going, doesn't mean that there isn't opportunity to be had, especially in the first and last half hour of the day. I don't have any type of like 100% confirmation, but I've been told by some very serious people, one of which worked at Goldman Sachs, that institutions often don't trade in that first 15 minutes. So what you're doing there in that first 15 minutes is you're dealing with the retail crowd and the people that are reacting to whatever they're seeing. You know, there are a lot of people that don't trade in the pre-market. Some people can't even trade in the extended sessions. They have to wait for the regular session to open. And so if something happens overnight and the sentiment on a particular name changes, then there could be a rush or a flurry of trades in that first 15 minutes. And so sometimes you can take advantage of that. And a lot of the times, some of those moves actually operate on some of these different technical levels, and a keen trader will be able to take advantage of that. So that you know, we look for stuff like that. By the way, if we take a quick look at Verb here, this is exactly why I said we want to wait, right? We hit that 237 spot. We did not take it out. And now look, we're pulling back. If I had bought in on that 237 on the first go around, I'd be looking at a loss right now, or an unrealized loss. And that makes day trading a little bit more difficult. To make this easier for me to remove my emotions from this trade, I want to be in and out as quick as I can, and I want to enter on levels that I feel are pretty good. Well, I said I didn't think. Remember, we went back. I'm not sure if they take out 237 on their first go around. I believe is exactly what I said, and it didn't look like that. I was watching the level 2. I was watching the buys and the sells, the time and sales, and it just didn't look like they had enough oomph on that first push. That doesn't mean the trade is over. It just means that I'm kind of waiting. And sometimes it's good to just have a profit target, right? You don't have to, time it perfectly or nail the bottom or nail the top.
Absolutely.
Right? Sometimes it's good to say, hey, if this thing goes up a quarter, I'm done.
Yep. Absolutely. And I mean, to that point, Spencer, so like right now, if you're thinking, okay, well, your thesis is that if it breaks 237, you could get a nice little pop there. Well, if you feel that way, why aren't you buying it here at 225? That's a great question. The answer to that, the reason that I'm not doing that is because I don't yet know if we're going to go to that 237 level. Yes, you're correct. If I buy some shares down here and then we go to 237, we break that wall and we pop an additional 10 cents, the trade's going to be more profitable to me. But to your point, Spencer, I don't need to nail that bottom. I would be happy with that 10 or 15 or 25 cents right at the top. It'd be cool to have 45, 50 cents. But I'm still going to be happy with what I can get. And the way that I'm setting this trade up is structured in such a way where I don't put myself at risk that I can't handle. Here we go. Looks like Verb is curling back up to that 237. Do they take it out yet? Or do they take it out on this particular run up? I don't know. We're going to kind of have to watch and see.
All right, I'm just keeping on my scanner.
13 is telling me to check out NAII. This is, here we go. Here's another, this is a communal pick from our happy hour show. I'm sure that we've got plenty of people long this name. I'm long this name with a cost basis of $15.28. So here we are now pushing $18.50. This is a company that does vitamin supplements. I think this entire space is going to be real good. We've been waiting for this high to break here, and it looks like we are on it. Oh man, thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe, for bringing this out. This is great stuff. I'd love to see this fall down. This is not a day trade for me. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a little aggressive in this particular trade. I'm hoping for 30 on this name. I can't tell you if that's going to happen. I can't tell you when that's going to happen. I'm hoping for about $30 on this name.
You got some super obvious line on the same resistance. Look at that. Look at that. 18. We're there.
So let's see what happens there. Good stuff though, man. Good stuff. Looks like Mitch is trying to buy Carnival Cruise Lines. Mitch, okay. Can someone do a wellness check on Mitch, please?
He's been eyeing the reopening trade. Let's go to 15.
Look at the weekly. Look at the uptrend right off the line. This is when I like to take my dip chances because at least I know my out.
Okay. You know what, Mitch? I'm gonna straight up apologize. Do you have your line drawn something like this, or did you incorporate
exactly what you kind of just scrolled over?
Okay.
I think that was Spencer scrolling over it, but
well, Ryan's got it right there.
There is it right here, or did you have it like this?
Let me pull it up here.
Yep. Go ahead. I struggle with this all the time. 13 here is an excellent chartist, and sometimes he'll have me draw stuff, and I'm not drawing it from the correct spot or whatever. But yeah, no, Mitch. So
this is what I'm looking at right quick. So real quick is that you kind of see these lifts. This is what I always look at. So like this is a drive, a pull back to this line, right? A drive, a pull back from this line. A drive, a pull back to that line. So that's why I'm willing to go ahead and take a chance off of that. If we can get another drive up towards the resistance, that's a good profit to loss ratio right there. I'm risking about a point right now for it to come back up towards, let's say, 28s or 29s. It doesn't even need to get to 31. Even 28s, that would be a good over 30% winner right there.
All right, checking on Verb. Looks like 237 fell while we were taking a look at that. Let me take a look. Let me go intraday here. It did. So, all right. So let's see if we get another push out of here. No position, folks. Remember, looks like we did a high of 240. So we got a 3-cent pop on that. Would have liked to have seen more. That's actually kind of disappointing. With this kind of materialized here, let's wait and see. So far, this trade has not been a great winner, but we'll see if this keeps going. Maybe it was lucky that we were talking about Carnival right there, because if we had popped through that 237, I might have actually taken that, and I would have only got a couple of pennies out of it. So looks like we're trying to hang in there. Buying the volume here is really, really impressive. It's not just us trading this. There's someone else out there trading this. It'll be interesting to see if we actually get this push through 37. Let's see.
Let's just zoom out for a second and look overall, right? So there's a SPY right there up on the screen. What's strong today? Financials, right? Look at the banks. Look at XLF. You can look at JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Bank America, Wells Fargo, all strong today. Morgan Stanley, all report earnings next week. Citigroup, So banks are strong today. What else is strong? The industrials, right? XLI. Look at that. Come on, there we go. XLI gapped up in the after-hour session. Nice looking chart today. Stocks like Caterpillar, right, would be industrial, right? Oh, look at that cat! Look at that cat move today. Let's look at that cat chart. Nice move. What about Deere? DE, same chart, more or less. So industrial strong, banks strong. Actually, most everything is strong, to be honest with you. Technology is how's technology doing?
Yeah, take a look at Apple. Take a look at Apple. Remember, we were down slightly in the pre-market, Spence. As soon as the market opened, we pushed right off of that.
Yeah,
right off of that.
And this is why I like looking at things from the open and not necessarily from the previous day's close. Because if you look at this from the close, what did we close at? We closed at 142. You're up a buck, from the close. But we opened today at what, 143? I don't know. We opened at 143. Okay, so you can often get like a better idea of what the stock is doing by looking at only the open, not the close. It doesn't really apply here, but that's my point. So there's Apple. What about Facebook? Same chart, looks identical, right?
Twitter.
Has Alphabet? No. What about Microsoft? This one's been going. Not really. Nvidia we discussed already. What am I missing? Amazon? That one. How's Amazon?
Amazon's about flat today.
Taking a breather. All right, nothing goes straight up. Taking a breather here.
Take a look at Twitter.
Okay, I'm not looking at the Twitter chart for a hot second.
Okay, well, the hot second is over.
Yeah. I see a gap. Yeah, look at that. Oh,
you know what's interesting here? I'm seeing some action in donut. Krispy Kreme, DNUT. We've seen some call flow in here. I got a heads up.
Well, you know why? Their options open today, don't they?
Oh, all of these. There's open interest.
I thought today was the first day. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, someone else would. I don't know. I don't know. You could. I don't think so because there's open. How could there be open interest from yesterday?
Yeah,
today. I don't know though. But I did get a tip here. One of my trading buddies.
I saw that.
Right. One of my trading buddies kind of tipped me off. Said, "Hey, kind of watch Donut today. Think something might happen." Looks. Doesn't really have the volume yet, so I'm not rushing here.
Happy's agreeing with me. Happy says options open today in Donut. So
yes, options open today. Okay. I'm not sure how that all works, but
hey guys, pointing out an industry here, retail doing well right now. You got TJX. You could look at KSS, Burlington up.
Macy's
is about 5%.
Macy's, Kohl's, TJ,
JWN, Nordstrom.
Okay. I see you.
Just pointing out that kind of trade right now.
Yeah,
I do see that trade coming back into play.
Now, are you just saying retail, or is this part of your reopening thesis, Mitch?
Well, this is we've been seeing these kind of moves in retail, especially these bigger priced names, and that's why I got any GG. I mean, we saw Duluth Holdings ripping off. That's what really put these on the radar, and I think you're seeing kind of sympathy come right back into retail. So another one to look at, TJX. That one's an interesting one just because the daily chart just has it starting to push off support. And so it's really having a good day also on the 15.
Yeah.
13 saying Nike, NKE, ticker NKE. Yeah. And as far as the reopening trade, Mitch, one of the things
Dix over 100.
DKS?
Yeah, that thing went. That thing really went. Look at that. Oh my God.
Look at that.
Wow.
Unreal.
We should have been buying Dix in the pandemic. Who would have thought that?
Yeah, that was one that I was like, are they going to make it through this thing? But
there's a joke in there somewhere, but I can't quite place it.
That's okay.
Real quick with the Dix chart here, you'll notice, Spencer, if you flip out to, are you on a daily there? Can you zoom in a little? Okay, there you go. Right. So what we have here is one of my absolute favorite trading setups. This is one that I got from Sandman. He calls it the floating island. This is any time that a stock gaps like this, it will generally push, then it'll retest that gap and push off of that. I'm not long this name. I apologize for this being in hindsight, but this is something that I watch for all of the time. I want to see, this is your island. All right. And it's kind of floating off here in space. That's where it gets this name. We kind of pushed off of that initial pop. When we traded back in towards that spot, we held it. It looks like we flushed a little bit, but for the most part, we held it. And then we traded back up off that. I would say on average, I don't have any, this is just anecdotal and it's not advice or recommendation. It's just an observation and anecdotal. I would say that this formation resolves to the upside 80% of the time or more. All right. Those are pretty good odds. And that's why I try to trade these. Dix, this would have been an excellent options trade when this came back into the bottom of that island candle. So just something to consider here. And Mitch, the other thing that I wanted to mention here real quick, you were talking, Spencer had mentioned about you were on the reopening trade, and that's what Carnival kind of was for you. Let me ask you, why did you choose the boats over something like the casinos and the hotels?
Well, just because I've seen the demand of really trying to go on vacation. And one of the things that I've seen is airlines have been doing well, but I think airlines had a lot of their revenue based off of business travel. And I haven't seen that just come back yet.
And
so that's my
travel.
reason. Yeah. Especially, I mean, just look at the flights right now to Europe. They're cheap, baby, but I can't go.
I really, I've been looking at flights. I've booked a couple flights in the past few months, and they are not cheap.
$500 to fly to Rome.
All right, well, that's a different story.
Yeah.
I'm looking at $500 to fly to New York City. So
yeah, that's what it is. You're pointing out something though, Spencer. So it's expensive in the United States to fly right now domestically. It's actually cheaper to fly internationally than domestically. When have you ever seen that?
I can't remember.
You can't. I mean, when can you fly to Rome cheaper than you can fly maybe, I guess, to down south or something like that?
I just booked a flight to New York from Detroit, and it was $350 a person, and I feel like that was amazing. Like, I just feel like I got like the best deal, and that's where I'm at right now. So
I booked a trip for my friend's wedding, which was in November of last year. I booked it in May. Sorry.
Not talking about Andre, great call.
I booked it in May, and I paid $421 for a first class ticket round trip.
Wow, good for you.
So I got it, man. I got it when it was so cheap. And you know what was crazy? I think the coach price was like $370. I was like, $50 more for first class? Yeah, sign me up. To Andre's comment about Dal.
Here we go.
This is one of my favorite airline plays. It is my favorite airline to fly. It's one of my favorite plays. We talked about this a little bit too. Looks like we're at a pretty decent spot. Risk versus reward here. I don't want to hold through the print. The issue here with the airlines for me is, like Mitch just talked about, the business travel is not back yet. The other thing that 13 can tell you about, he's been saying this he's been all over this actually, saying that they reduced their fleet, and I believe at one point they reduced their pilots. Right? They weren't making new orders. They put some of their planes. I guess they removed them from their fleet or whatever, temporary. And I'm not sure that they've kind of got all the way back to full capacity there. So I think that trade might be a little slowed. I agree. I think the big point there, I agree with Mitch. When business travel seems to return, international travel, you might get more of a movement there. If you're looking for something that's just domestic though, ticker LUV, right? Love, Southwest Airlines, they only fly domestic. And so, they're obviously doing better here. They've done better than the other airlines on a comparison. So.
All right, here is your calendar for earnings for next week. Looking forward to it. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday specifically. You see, this is sorted by revenue here. You see a lot of banks. You see UNH, Pepsi, Delta Airlines, Alcoa. But the banks will be the story, right? JP Morgan on Tuesday morning. Excuse me. JP Morgan on Tuesday. Goldman Sachs on Tuesday. Wednesday, we've got Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citigroup. Thursday, we've got who's on the 15th? Morgan Stanley's on the 15th, and then that'll round out the week. State Street as well is always Friday for some reason. But earnings season is back, guys. Starting really on Tuesday with the banks. Very exciting stuff. Ryan Fluna, any final thoughts before we let you go? Because we got to get ready for the the quarterly meeting here. So any final thoughts on it for
Yeah, final thoughts. Keep it tactical today, guys. Keep it tactical. There's definitely going to be some more opportunities here. Galt has been hitting my scanner. I see Racer in here trading Galt left and right. Good job, my man. There's definitely going to be some opportunities later. So good luck. Be safe. Be tactical about your trades. Don't overexpose yourself. Have a great weekend. And if you're long space, hope for a really, really great launch.
I'm saying let Ryan run the show. I feel like I did let Ryan run the show, right? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, Spence, no, that was great. I actually, to be quite honest with you, I felt like maybe I talked a little too much. So I'm sorry about that. But no, you did a great job.
No such thing. All right, I'll see you in a little bit for the thing.
Take care of yourself. Take care, everyone.
All right, see you, Ryan. All right, that's going to be a wrap for us here. I've been on for far too long today. So I'm going to hop off the stream. Like I said, not a normal day for us here. We don't have SPAC Attack. We don't have Power Hour. We don't have Get Technical. We've got a quarterly meeting that we all got to be at. So here's what's going to happen. At 11 o'clock, we'll have Beginner Trading do a stream for 1 hour, 11 to noon Eastern time. At noon, we've got Trend Spider. Jake Wujasic's been off for a couple of weeks, but he's back with us. He's normally on Mondays at 5. Right, Monday. Let me confirm that. He's normally on Mondays at 5. He's going to be on next Monday, but he was not on this week because of the holiday. So we're going to get him on Friday today at noon for an hour. Jake will do some charts. He's got a really, if you haven't seen the Trend Spider charts and the raindrops, highly recommend that. It's a great way of looking at volume throughout the day. So Trend Spotter at noon. We're airing a crypto interview with Be Real at 1 o'clock, and then that'll take us into Moon or Bust at 2, and then it'll be normal from there. We got trivia at 3 o'clock. Might do an at the close show without Joel. Might not. I don't really know. Money Mitch at 4 o'clock, and then trading technically options with Brad Weber at 5 o'clock to round out the day. So that's going to be a wrap for me here now. Please remember, all the information from our show and all of our shows meant to be used as informational purposes and not for investing or trading advice. Thanks to our guest today, Kenny Glick. Thanks to Ryan Faluna for hanging out. Thanks to all of you for hanging out with me. Oh, my computer's bugging out. That's weird. And here's I think what I'll do right now, because we got nothing going on, I'll probably set up a redirect and we'll re-air the Wake Up with Benzinga show from this morning with Mike Rao. If you missed that, it's our 7 a.m. on Friday show. So I'll get that going, and see you guys later. Good luck. Hope you make some money. And if I don't see you on the stream later, then have a good weekend and make some money on the weekend too.
I tell all my CEOs, this is a very, very, very important platform. And look, all the other platforms are important too, but you're up there now. You're way up there.
Best investments you can do in your future is actually go and re-educate yourself on credible sites and credible resources like Benzinga. I think you guys have been killing it.
The comment section on this show is remarkable. Like the quality of the combo, and just big shout out to you and your community.
What I love about you guys, you just had all your callers in right then. And it's all about the community here at Benzinga.